Okay. Da, da, da.
I pulled up Twitter. I get a picture of Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, and they're leaning over each other like they're gonna kiss. Like,
They're
what the
fighting.
fuck?
What? There's what?
Yeah, they look like. I know it's a promotional photo, but it looks like they're gonna kiss.
Are you
each
trying
other.
to tell me Money Floyd Mayweather is fighting Logan frickin' Paul?
What?
Does that even
you
make
didn't know that?
sense?
No.
Does that make
I
any
don't know.
sense?
I guess.
Yes.
Business-wise, maybe.
Look at this. This looks like a newlywed photo.
I do not.
Let me see.
I can't.
Oh my god! Wow.
This is not gonna end well for anyone.
Like, in Logan Paul's defense, he has been learning how to fight, but he's not going to be able to take Floyd Mayweather.
No, who
Like,
has since the last
Conor
couple
McGregor
years?
couldn't take Floyd Mayweather, then what the fuck is Logan Paul going to do?
Oh,
I really hope he beats his ass.
there's no question.
Same.
What are the odds? Like 1,000 to 1 or something? There's no one on the planet who's going to vote for Logan Paul. Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the video. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 303. This is Luke Cage, Hoodies. And it's well after some things that have happened in Black Lives Matter history. But I think BLM was a thing all throughout the year, so it was probably more cogent and relevant then. Now it's like, who the hell cares what some group is when most of people are not even allowed to go outside half the time? So, yeah.
Oh, except for them. They're allowed. They don't spread it.
Oh yeah,
Like, they don't spread COVID, but COVID affects black people the most, but they don't spread it, but COVID affects black people the most.
so they can wear their natural garb, which is to cover their faces and their bodies in black. So whether it's COVID or not,
Wait a minute, hold on.
what I'm saying is it makes no difference because they're going to be covering their faces anyway, whether it's COVID or not. So.
Except for all the black people, like fucking the fucking champagne socialist upper middle class white yuppie kids. Yeah, they'll fucking cover their faces when they're helping to burn down black neighborhoods. But the black people that live there that are also burning down the neighborhoods, they just got their bare naked faces hanging out.
Oh really?
They don't give a shit.
Okay. Makes sense, I guess.
Well, it's a good pairing that the uniform of these demonstrators, to put it nicely, is the same as what you would wear normally these days to go out. So, don't think that is a good message for the cause. You don't know who they are, but at least they can dress the same and feel comfortable. I guess that's a good thing for someone out there. So it's
Did
a political...
any of you guys watch this show?
Yes,
No, I have not.
I did.
I've seen some clips on YouTube. It seems like a cool show. It seems fun.
It's middling.
Yeah. It's
not near as bad as Iron Fist.
Oh no!
But it doesn't approach anywhere. I mean, the Punisher is better than Luke Cage.
I've seen,
and the Punisher is nowhere near Daredevil.
There are some episodes where both shows crisscross. So I thought,
which is a problem because one of the things that pissed me off the most is Stick is talking to Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, talking about how fucking Daredevil is the most gifted natural fighter he's ever met in his life. I'm like, you're talking to the immortal Iron Fist.
Well,
Iron Fist should be able to whoop everybody's ass in that group by himself.
He can't even do that in his own show.
I know.
That is
it's so stupid.
That is Netflix's version of Iron Fist, not the Iron Fist from the comic book, so it's a little different.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Iron Fist from the comic books, who, when he lost his powers, just went to several kumites all over the earth and killed people and took their chi so that he could get his Iron Fist back.
That should have been a show. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But no.
Like, fuck, they could have had the Steel Serpent just take the Iron Fist from him, and that's how Danny got his fucking Iron Fist back. And then he beats the Steel Serpent and takes the Iron Fist back, and then he has two Iron Fists.
Man. They just love to ruin shit.
There's things that they could do and should do that the fans are expecting, and they go, wait a second, we want to appeal to everyone on Netflix, which is odd because those Marvel shows like Jesse, was it Jesse Jones. What the hell's that one called?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica
Jones.
Like that is definitely not your average Marvel show. It's edgy. It's got some adult content.
It took a lot from the Brian Michael Bendis run of Jessica Jones.
Okay, so they weren't skimping on the content. Okay, good.
No.
So that's what I mean. Like, it's not your average, oh, I didn't even think Marvel did stuff like that. It's like, oh, yeah, it's got it. Like, oh, that's cool. So why it paired up with Luke Cage, I don't know. Is that a thing in the comics? Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, they're husband and wife. They have a daughter.
Oh, cool. Because she is a very...
It shows they have lots of sex.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not scared of showcasing
Super
the
sex.
Essentially. Yeah, essentially. That's what they do. So I'm glad they have it. I'm glad they have these shows. I'm glad they existed. It was popular, 7 years ago, whatever it was. And
except for Iron Fist.
Well, yeah, obviously, but they tried.
Do you want to know how that show? Do you want to know how that show ended?
Which one? The first season or the second season?
Second season.
I didn't even bother seeing the second season. Tell me.
Oh, it's great because like Iron Fist, like the entire fucking thing, the Steel Serpent comes along and is like, you shirked your responsibility as the Iron Fist, so I'm going to take it. And which he succeeded in doing, which is fine because that gives us like some setup. Like the villain of the arc is more powerful than the hero, so then the hero is the underdog. It makes it more interesting and shit. Like he can prove just through pure martial arts skill that he's better than the Steel Serpent and was truly worthy of the Iron Fist. No, that's not what happened. He gave up the Iron Fist to his girlfriend. And then he fucked off out of America. Then we catch up to him in Thailand or somewhere. The fuck else. And they're on a mission to find something. I can't remember the fuck what. And the series ends with Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist, pulling out 2 pistols, right?
Oh,
and
I think I remember, yeah.
He somehow has 2 Iron Fists now, and he shoots 2 bullets. And somehow it pulls this weird fucking corkscrew Hadouken thing, and the bullets mix together, and they have Iron Fist chi in them, and he shoots a guy. And that's how the show ended. It never got like what the wait, like the whole reason you didn't get the Iron Fist back is because you weren't worthy of it, but now you have 2 and guns for some reason, even though you're supposed to be one of the premier martial artists of the Marvel Universe. What is this shit?
He doesn't kill, does he?
Yes.
Iron Fist does kill. Oh, he does kill. Oh, yeah, yes. You just said so. But
yeah,
throughout the show, then
throughout the show, he's like rarely. He's like in the comic books, he does. Like, right. But throughout the show, he's always been just fucking, like namby-pamby, leaving people alive shit. Like, it makes more sense for Daredevil to do it.
That's because they were trying to copy Daredevil.
I know, but like, Danny Rand survived a plane crash and was raised by these brutal fucking monks at the top of a fucking mountain. And the way he gets the Iron Fist is he supposedly fights a dragon and plunges his hands into its heart, rips it out, puts it in a cauldron, and then they make a fucking brew out of it. And then, like, the brew is what empowers his chi so that he has the Iron Fist. And yet somehow he's this namby-pamby, skinny as fuck piece of shit that can barely fight better than some random Asian bitch, like at a dojo in fucking Brooklyn, New York. What is that?
Is this a case of that's this popular character? Let's change him because we think that's more appealing.
I don't know who would find that appealing. Because like, in the fucking background of the show, they mentioned that they barely gave the actor for Iron Fist like 15 minutes to practice the choreography before they shot the fight scene.
What?
He managed to practice. He managed to practice it once, and then they shot the fight.
Yeah, that's what I expect from student movies.
It's a combination of casting problems, storytelling, trying to fit this thing into the rest of the Marvel universe on Netflix. It's a combination. Like, I didn't watch these shows, but I have seen clips, and it's like, all right, this is not what I was expecting. And some of it's okay. Like, this stuff with Daredevil seems pretty decent. Elektra depiction was excellent. Elektra was a little off to me, but I'm like, that's fine. They could do their own.
She needed bigger tits.
Well, she needed a little more sex appeal. I agree, but I thought most of it was fine. The action was good.
Are there any sexy women left in Hollywood, or have they all been driven into porn?
She wasn't unattractive. She just needed to be more attractive. That's just me personally.
She needed bigger tits. She needed bigger tits.
You see,
that's attractive, pretty, sexy. That's all different connotations.
Yeah, Elektra's kind of like the deadly assassin with "I'm going to kill you in multiple ways" sort of assassin. Look.
Frank Miller described like was it Karen Page is the girl next door, that you take home to mom, and Elektra is the slut down the street that you visit when you want to have fun.
Can't do that anymore.
You can't take away from that, and you change too much of the whole dynamic.
So yeah, it wasn't quite the same, but I understood what they were trying to do in the story. It felt good, and that's at the end of the day. If you enjoy it, it's entertaining. Cool. Good. They did the job. They got it. They got the puck in the net. They didn't score 10 goals.
So wait, Bears, I gotta ask. Bears. Did he ever wear his costume, Iron Fist?
They had the mask. They had the mask for like a flashback when he was fighting the Steel Serpent for the right to become Iron Fist, and that was it. He never wore the green and.
Wow,
yellow.
okay.
I can understand them not doing the green and yellow, right? But there's no, I can understand that. I can understand that because there's an updated version of the Iron Fist costume that's white and gold. That would have worked.
What's the same with Daredevil? They had an adaptation to the costume as he was developing, I think, and then he stopped becoming Daredevil, so he just used a mask. So that was fun.
Yeah, I think that was Frank Miller's run.
Works, though.
That was Frank Miller's Man Without Fear run costume, where it was just basically just like a cloth over a bandana over his entire fucking head.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Sense for the most part.
I liked it. It was fine. So there's little changes that you have to make, obviously, to a television adaptation, and so long as you have inspiration from a source material, fans won't complain. It'll be like, yeah, it reminds me of episode whatever or comic book 1, 2, 3, whatever. That's great. I think that's cool. There's so much to pull from for Daredevil, though. There's like decades and decades of comics. So good stuff that you can't go on. Just read the damn comics, pick and choose what you want, throw it in there, make it work, get some dialogue going, get the right actors. They got a good actor for Daredevil. It worked.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Cox's amazing. Honestly, I love him.
Good stuff. Yeah. Iron Fist, not really. Honestly, no.
The Iron Fist could have worked if they had him. Like, he needed to have worked out, but not, like, go specifically for tone. Like, no hypertrophy at all.
Yeah.
All of his muscles needed to be, like, tight and sinewy. It would have worked.
You wanted a Bruce Lee knockoff, essentially.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. So, I was a bit disappointed about that. Because that's what it was the inspiration, I believe, from Mr. Stan. So, just get a. I'm sure there's some awesome Chinese dude in Hong Kong practicing Jeet Kune Do right now who would have been perfect. There's probably 30 of them.
What's funny, I believe Louis Tan was even in that Iron Fist show.
Yeah,
and they probably could have used him. I don't know.
But aside from any actors or casting choices or whatever, like they needed to have gotten the guys that choreographed the raid to do the fight scenes for Iron Fist.
Didn't they?
No.
Okay, I thought I heard something. No, I know, but
if they had half-assed the raid choreography like they did for the choreography they would have had a more action-packed and engaging fight throughout the show.
That's why the Luke Cage stuff is actually kind of fun with his crazy villain. I can't remember the name of the guy he's always attacking.
Cottonmouth. Which is also some bullshit because Cottonmouth was fucking great. Cottonmouth was an amazing bad guy. And yet they replaced him with Diamondback.
Oh, Diamondback, that was the guy, yeah.
Diamondback and fucking weird knockoff Tony Stark super suit. Like, oh, cool.
Oh, that was bad.
Like, we had an entire fucking, like, it would have been fine if Luke Cage, like, shit, that could have been a fucking theme. Like, you can't just solve all the problems in the black community with brute force like Luke Cage is trying to do. You gotta fix it with your mind.
What? But that's against that's against what the activists say.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, here's Diamondback in super suit. And the fucking key to it is let him punch you until he gets winded and then hit him once in the chin.
It sounds as if someone in Hollywood thinks the only language black people understand is violence.
It's a pretty fun language, gotta admit.
Just joking. Yeah, I mean, works for John Wick.
Yeah.
Works for Punisher.
Well, that's executed well.
Yeah.
And you said the people in that show aren't. I haven't seen it. So the people, the actors in the show, they aren't trained out in any way.
In Iron Fist, no. In Luke Cage, it's not needed as much because, like,
because his
powers he's just he's a pretty competent boxer, and he managed to get some fighting skill developed in prison when he was falsely accused.
My question is, these are actors. They have a lot of time to prepare for these jobs, technically.
Yes.
In the 90s, we had Kevin Sorbo and his sidekick in Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't super well paid. The Ares actor, whom I adored as a character, and the way he played, also trained out. Everyone was fit. These shows hadn't the highest budget. Why is that not possible today? Why is everything lazy and you just have magic powers that make you strong without showing it? Like even from the I've said this for a decade at this point. When you do superhero stuff or in a fantasy setting, adventuring stuff, there's no way you can get fat or stay out of shape. You will develop muscle. Maybe you have this type of build where you just take on a lot of belly fat, but all around that is still muscle. Mm-hmm. Like that's not the same. That's not the same as being obese.
Mm-hmm.
So like the strongmen of old, and I do not when you are working out every fucking day, just by way of your occupation, by way of your job. There is no way you can stay a twig in the wind or an obese pizza roll.
Tell that to the people Zach was arguing with for an entire day last week.
Yeah, but those people have never worked out, and they have never been outside, and they've never done a hard job.
What about Fat Thor?
Oh,
Fat Thor was depressed.
Oh, don't.
That was fine.
No, fuck off. No. Absolutely not. The only fat Asgardian should have been Volstagg, but he's known for being the fat guy.
Yeah. Didn't they kill him? That sucked.
Oh, I don't know. They probably did kill the fucking Lady Sif and the Warriors 3 are just twisting in the wind while we get Negress Valkyrie. Thanks for that. Thank you. I need more of this, please. Please, more of that bullshit.
Even though she's an alcoholic, she's still totally perfect.
Let's not dwell on
everything better.
Let's not dwell on the Marvel interpretation of the
or Ragnarok's dog shit.
They want to have Jane and Thor now.
Honestly, I hated Ragnarok more than Thor 2. I hated
Yeah.
it more than Dark World.
It gets
Because
juvenile.
the humor was so overblown. The story
It's
was flimsy. The main story was flimsy. And it was just this awkward comedy. And that is, if you take all the jokes by themselves, most of them kind of work if you do them once in a movie. But this was a staccato thing of that. Joke upon joke upon joke upon joke upon joke upon joke. That's not what I want to see when I watch a Thor movie.
And you know what's worse, Wisp? They managed to ruin the Ragnarok storyline from the comic books and also the World War Hulk comic book.
Yes.
Cue in the laugh track.
They could have made a trilogy of the Planet Hulk storyline.
Yes.
That would have been
Hulk,
so awesome, and they wasted it on a little cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Hollywood?
But
It's because they're trying to make it like Guardians.
No.
They even said Asgardian was a planet.
Make the Guardians movie like that. All right, but that's not Thor, and that's not Hulk.
All right.
All these things have a different vibe. When I watch a Thor movie, I want to see space fantasy stuff.
Yes.
And I want to see epic space fantasy,
Thor.
honest, earnest stuff with emotion, with depth, with stakes, and not a goofy Ghostbusters 2016 in better quality.
I want Thor to be serious. Like, they fucking...
Yeah.
These people, like, it's like they were in the boardroom, like, okay, Thor 1 was serious, but it kind of flopped. Thor 2 was also serious, and it kind of flopped.
Yeah.
Could it be that we didn't hire competent writers for those two movies? No, it must be the serious tone. So let's go balls to the wall, fucking slapstick. Thor bounced the ball off the window and it hit him in the face. Isn't that funny? Fuck off! No,
Because
stop.
people like Guardians.
Stop. Yes,
Yeah,
people
and
like
Even
Guardians.
Guardians didn't even go that far.
People like Guardians because they're the funny guys.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the really funny guys.
I mean, you can just compare the ending from Guardians 2 to Thor Ragnarok completely different.
Yeah.
At least they stuck to a serious tone at that last
They
moment.
made you feel sad. They made you feel sad at the death of a blue man.
Was just pathetic. There was no. It felt like nothing.
Yes.
Felt like nobody had any attachment to that place.
Also,
But they've lived for tens of thousands of years.
Yeah. Also, get fucked with Hela being able to take on Thor when he's at full Allfather power. Get fucked. Fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, that was kind of pointless. Wasn't it?
All right. Well, let's actually get with the video because now we're just rambling on about Marvel, which is fun.
to-
But
Okay, yeah. Back to Luke Cage.
One thing
Yeah.
I want to
Anyway.
I want to say about 4-1. While that was a weak movie, I did like the fish out of water situation humor with 4, where he was still the all serious Asgardian and the smash the mug in the diner. This is a great drink. Smashes the things.
Another.
That one I liked. If you went on with that kind of character type, that would be nice. Keep his culture, because after that, he's like your average Californian humor cock.
well, it went from melodramatic Shakespearean tone to goofy slapstick. Let's have
Yeah,
keep the whole Asgardian culture on the Shakespearean tone. That would be awesome. That would have its unique thing. Then you have these. You have the humans from Earth that do their thing. Tony Stark with his weird character. You have the Asgardians with their stoic Shakespearean stuff. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy who are just wacky all over the place. And you have these. And when you do the compilation movie where everyone comes together, that's where this can really shine because it's all rubbing against each other. But
That's
when
what he
everybody's the same type of mental. I don't know how to what to say. I'll say mental culture. Then it's just drivel.
yuck.
well, when you have a casting where they put Jeff Goldblum to be and act as Jeff Goldblum, it's kind of awkward, and you don't know what to make. You don't know what you're not sure what to think of because he's entertaining, but it's
You
like
guys didn't like the Asgardian joke? I don't get it. Ass.
anyway.
It's another term for butt.
Jeff
It's another
Goldblum
term for
stuff
butt. That's hilarious.
kind of reminded me as if they wanted to rub off Fifth Element.
Yes.
with the wackiness.
Space opera-ish. Yeah.
Fifth Element wasn't that as bad as Thor Ragnarok. Goddamn.
You don't need that wackiness of Fifth Element to be space opera. You can do space opera series.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely not.
But I love when people do that.
Not the
and pull
tone of
that off.
Dune or the Dune movie or what have you, but you can still you can get it up there and still be dramatic. So anyway, let's get back to the actual topic. We'll start with some super chats and we'll get started. Here is Mariner1712. Hey guys, just got back from a walk, a cigar, gorgeous day here in West PA. Hey, good stuff,
Yeah,
man.
boy.
Walking and then hurting your lungs at the same time. That's fantastic. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Mariner1712.
You gotta hurt your lung. You gotta like strengthen your lungs before you hurt them.
Is
then it
that
balances
is
out.
that how you strengthen your lungs?
Yeah.
Taking a bunch
Yep.
of soot and
Yeah.
boy. All right. Well, whatever floats your boat, you do it. Here's again, Mariner1712. One of these days, I'd love to show you some Guyver, Dark Hero, or Mechanica Violator Hokkaider fun films. I've actually watched both the Guyver live actions as well as the animated.
Fucking turn Mark Hamill into a grasshopper. Why would you do that?
Well, if you got David Hayter, transforming into this weird killing machine, I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, I've seen them, so they're pretty cool. Bear Business 1, that's cool. You can't see why it is appealing because you think about things. The writers are about the message, the story and actions are secondary and get in the way of the messaging.
Yeah, but if the story is good, then they can get the message across in a much better way.
Good writers
Yeah,
will know
but
how to do that.
That would require that they intend to
Brains.
convey the same message that the original is conveying.
Well, not even that.
When it seems much more like this is why I call it political fetishism. They have their fetish tags. If you there are sites like porn. It also exists for writing, and you can sort for what stories you want to watch, what you want to read, what you want to be in it, and these the way they write these shows and movies is the same thing. They want to include this political fetish, that political fetish, and that political fetish, even though it's not in the original. Maybe it's even contradictory to the original, but that doesn't matter because they replace it with and that's how it turns into propaganda.
The nature of the storytelling
naturally
can work regardless of the message, provided the subtext is there. So they can include. Yeah. I don't really care what the subtext is. They can include politics, this or that. So long as it works within the plot, it's great. If it's there, just because it has to be there, then it's in the way. So it's
I think what happens is that maybe they realize, and maybe just subconsciously, they realize that if you write these stories well, what the audience takes from them is the sane interpretation, which is what those in favor of these political stances are bad people. And I have to somehow circumvent that. That's why I write Mary Sue's and all this other shit.
Possibly. That's hard to define because once you say, okay, this story actually worked, this was good, and there is a character who is politically minded, if that's the case, it would just be a secondary element because it's subtext. It's not the main plot. It's not the reason why they're there. They don't even have to use any loaded words or current words to advocate for that thing. They're just the feminist character. Oh yeah, she's harping on the guy because he was saying silly things about women. It's like, yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
When you don't deliberately portray her as positive by everyone acknowledging her and nobody criticizing her, or nobody taking offense to what she's saying or being hurt by what she's saying, then you have a ham-fisted version. If nobody is doing that, if nobody has a negative reaction in any form, even just frustration, then that we've seen that in Invincible. Then the character, that's the only way to portray the character as positive, because every natural reaction to that, which includes frustration, shows this character is shit. Someone with this stance, with this behavior, is shit. And I can't do that because they love this.
I don't.
And I've seen in conversations with people who hold these ideas is usually that many of them, not the fully indoctrinated, but the big majority fringe around that, the people who are mostly sane, mostly normal, they will say the rational, logical, empathetic thing about every topic that they do not know the dogmatic position about. When you show them something or explain something to them, they will agree this is atrocious, this is shit, unless they have already been taught by the indoctrinated what to think. When they go towards any of these social justice topics, and you don't tell them this is a social justice topic, this is a feminist topic, you just present the case to them, and they have no prior knowledge. They will judge it by common sense. And the common sense will tell them this is a bad thing, this is a bad situation, this is a bad deed.
Well,
only when they know it's part of the ideology beforehand, they will defend it.
Oh, yeah, no, I get that for the writer and the person making the series or the scene. But all we're talking about is a pattern. So if we see a stereotype, and the stereotype is basic, like the feminist or an Italian stereotype, and you're like, oh, I see what that is, then your brain goes, I get it. I get what they're trying to do. If they don't do that, if it's just this woman spouting stuff, you're like, this is really awkward and out of place. Then it becomes this tokenistic element that is overshadowing everything else. It's the same with Mary Sue's, it's the same with the main plots. If you don't focus on these characters and their characterization and their conflict with each other, it just becomes this, I am person, here's my soapbox, I'm now the writer, and I'm talking whatever I want to say. That's what you don't do.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter to me whether it's politics of this side or that side. I don't care. If it is an element of the character, then great. Work with that. Give me something interesting that makes them fun or queasy or disgusting or beautiful, and have that be part of the series, have it be part of the plot. She's looking for a mate. She wants to have a relationship. She wants kids. Great. Run with it. Don't just start spouting philosophy because she's weird like that. That's not something that helps anyone identify or understand a plot. Anyway, great side topic, but let's keep going. Mariner 7012, if you don't want to make the costume, make something else. And that's regards to, I believe, Iron Fist, I think we were talking about.
Like, fuck, a green hoodie or a green jacket would have been better.
Didn't he have a hoodie? I thought he did have a hoodie.
I don't.
Yeah.
Or no, that was Luke Cage. He's got the hoodie, right?
Yeah, it was Luke Cage. Yeah.
That was a joke in one of the episodes.
He had some sort of hoodie.
Yeah, because it was merch. They were making him a brand, and his friend was helping him out there. That was kind of cool. I like that.
Yep.
Lucas Koval, hi there. Hope you guys are well. Can you please get Wisp? Here we go. Can you please get Wisp to say, Miss McLean, how nice to make your acquaintance?
What movie is that?
Okay, I'm leaving.
I'm sorry. I don't remember all quotes.
God damn it, Wisp.
I
Come
don't
on. Die Hard. Yes.
Ah.
Oh, I forget that he has a wife.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My
Dude,
disappointment
I've not seen that
and my
I've not seen that movie since I haven't had a TV anymore. That's a long time. I don't remember how it's said.
That's all right. You don't have to say it. It's fine. You don't have to compel yourself to do anything. It's all right.
Next stream.
Okay.
I'll watch the movie and then I'll do it.
All right. Wisp wants to do it properly. He'll do it. Just
we'll find it.
He needs reference. He's the practice.
Oh, 2 weeks ago I watched all the Highlander movies. I need a break.
Why did you do that?
Okay. Like Wisp, it's not really a bragging rights to say that I watched all one movie.
And then I watched all the RoboCop movies.
How is it much of a brag to say I watched all 2 movies?
Even the reboot, right?
That reboot was so bad. In contrast, I saw that in the cinema, and after I remembered this is weak. And after I watched them all back to back and then watched the reboot, wow, that was weak. Holy fuck, that was weak. That was everything interesting was taken out of it.
And hopefully,
including the whole family plot that made it really tragic. And only by rewatching it, I thought, oh wait, that's Brie Larson. Ugh.
Well, remember,
why don't you want to get married to Brie Larson? Fuck.
Well, that explains
Wait,
why
she's
she
in that
didn't
movie?
why she didn't mentally suffer, because she's incapable of that.
so long as you're
Wait, she was in that movie?
She was the wife.
well.
So what you're saying is he tried to do suicide by fucking Red Foreman. Is what you're saying.
I don't know if you guys have been inspired by any of the people we actually cover on here, but if you were to watch RoboCop with Maggie May Fish in the back of your head, if you ever covered that episode,
We did on Sloppy Seconds.
it is.
No, thank you.
It is like you cannot believe this woman thinks the way she does and how she even comes to those conclusions when you actually watch the movie or show.
Him having a flashback to when his wife and him used to live in that house, and him stepping forward into where his wife was standing in his memory means that RoboCop is a transsexual.
What?
Yeah, no, it was.
Yes.
What?
It was insane.
Yes.
Wisp, you never saw it, did you? Okay.
How?
But Smud, hold on. You said she was grifting though, right? You didn't think she was crazy.
There are times when I think she is, because it's so over the top nuts that the only conclusion
maybe
I can
you
make.
just weren't aware of how crazy she is at that time.
Oh, she's always nuts. I just
Now
don't know
you
what
learn.
capacity. It could be intensity. Like, I'm going to be nuts 10% of the time. I'm going to be nuts when I watch my Cats movies and talk about Nazism all day. Like, it's all kinds of crazy. It's just what flavor and how much.
No, I know
She has to be
people like
crazy.
that. One of the girls in our club back in the day, who got there, friend of a really horrible person. She was, maybe it was her meds, but that also means there's an underlying condition for which she needed meds. She was absolutely incapable of seeing anything negative in anything. And I mean anything. Even abuse. Nothing could break her smile. And she had this. She was not the same kind of crazy in regards to interpretation as Maggie May Fish, but she had a similar look. She wasn't cross-eyed, but she had the same look and always smiling, always happy, and she could talk about the worst abuse you can imagine with a smile and say, yeah, that's probably good.
That sounds like...
She found everything positive, absolutely everything.
No, that...
When she said, when you brought up that sounds like they're both tearing themselves down into the abyss, and she said, yeah, they probably need that time. And it's just completely positive. Everything is positive.
If you remember your study of the brain, that would have been the amygdala. So she might have had either a bad connection to it or a poorly developed one, or God knows, beta blockers, something interfering with those transmitters.
Yeah.
From understanding emotions.
That was the first time I've witnessed that live and in action, and I thought,
wow.
After some relevant things happened, I couldn't believe that people like that are out here in the wilds, because they're the first to conceal abuse. Because everybody says, oh, she doesn't have a problem with it. Yeah, because she's incapable of having a problem with anything.
All right.
You can probably cut her arm off and she will smile and thank you or something.
That would be other parts of the brain.
Oh, your heart is breaking.
I don't fucking know that. That's just... I've seen crazy in this world that I cognitively, rationally, I can understand from a theoretical standpoint, but witnessing it live, emotionally, psychologically, I fail to understand it.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Absolutely, yeah.
I want to get to the video. Here's Mariner1712 again. Is it me or does the Avengers not age well? I don't know. I've only watched the first film and I seem to enjoyed it like 5 years or 7 years after it came out. So I enjoyed it. It was good.
I can tell you one thing. Age of
right.
Ultron didn't age well as soon as I got in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't like the Hulk and Black Widow subplot?
No, that was great. I also love how Ultron is a fucking jokey character. Again with the jokey characters, it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting closer to the laugh track. It's gonna be there.
All right. Here's Mike Testa. Hey, Mike, how you doing? The more you look back, Marvel should have lost its characters from the way the Marvel movies were made and handled. That's what Wisp must be saying. What?
What?
The more you look back, Marvel. The more you look back, I'm assuming there's a comma. Marvel should have lost its characters from the way the Marvel movies were made, comma, and handled. Period. That's what Wisp must be saying. Thank you, Michael. Okay, great, gotcha. Whew.
The rights, or what does that mean?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean.
No, no one knows. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Mike is a guy
yes.
beyond normal
Mike is
comprehension.
Mike.
We can't ever possibly understand. Here's Skids. Skids, thank you, sir. Luke Cage is still better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That is probably very true. So
That is not a high bar.
I agree.
It's like a foot is also taller than an inch. That doesn't make a foot tall though.
That's what she said.
All right, let's go. Finally.
I really didn't think it would be appropriate to release one of my normal wacky comic book videos in the current climate. And as a break between following and supporting my local protests, I've been rewatching.
What?
I didn't think it was appropriate to do my normal wacky style, he says, in front of, on a throne with a fucking foam Aquaman trident in the background.
And he protests, right?
I'm gonna protest, guys. It's gonna be great. I'm on YouTube. You do that, man. You protest on YouTube. See how far you go.
I said, don't unpause it. I need to take this.
I'm gonna
screenshot.
fight against the man.
Okay, I'm gonna fight against the man by doing nothing except breaking shit.
Making a video.
That'll
Great.
show him. Yeah,
All
how much you want to bet fucking whore here? Fucking was one of the guys protesting the January 6th quote insurrection unquote.
Well, they all did.
After
Everyone,
all this Black Lives Matter bullshit.
everyone who doesn't like anything.
Like, fight the man. Oh, wait. You're actually fighting the man? Murder them, the man. Why isn't the man killing these people enough?
If the man was as bad as they portrayed the man, they'd all be shot dead a year ago.
Yes.
Well,
But here's-
some of the agents did in fact shoot back. So
Maybe it should.
But here's the thing. This kind of fucking retard, he's gonna bring out the man. Like, his actions are gonna make the man happen.
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube.
Yeah, but these people don't see that. They prop up a phantom and fight that, wonder why everybody's upset at them, and then wonder even more when the phantom one day becomes real. And that's when shit goes down for real. And these people won't survive that.
I know
I just wish he
I know
had.
you're talking a phantom, an actual phantom, but I want fucking Billy Zane in a purple suit and a domino mask to just come up and punch Comic Drake right in the face.
I wish he would have his own political
Ooh.
channel and keep the comic book stuff on his comic book channel. I think that'd be the best. So
Yes, thank
I
you.
think Comic Drake
so
shouldn't
tired.
venture anything into politics at all, ever, because he's a fucking flat brain when it comes to it.
You know what he really needs?
So annoying too.
To lift
What he really needs
anything.
is book stands. Look at the shelves. This is short of falling over. If
You know,
you're
you
if you're
read
that much
specific
of a
stories.
comic book fan, I usually the comic book and fantasy book or sci-fi book and etc. Nerds I know, most of them, there are exceptions, but most of them have some sort of bibliophilia. That means love for books, where they sort the stuff properly, where they make sure it's not twisting, getting askew. And that's when you do not want, when you care about your fucking books, you do not want them to stand askew, because that ruins the spine.
I mean, I can't talk too much shit in that regard. All my comic books are still in the short boxes.
Yeah, we use boxes too. I keep them all in boxes.
Well, that's one way to way to do it. And I think for comic books there is some that is appropriate in some way.
Yeah, no, I
Because
do have
you have
backing boards and sleeves though.
Yeah, because you have so many of them.
Well, they're always in a sleeve. You
Books
always
usually are able to stand on their own.
Yeah. Well, yeah, depending. Up to you. What comics you like, what order, if they're organized at all.
It's like when I see this, it's like someone who has what I call it in English, old vinyl not plates, vinyl discs, and instead of storing them upright, he would put them all over each other. That's the feeling I get from this. And if you do that to vinyls, you just press them down to the point where they lose the musical information.
Okay.
But I mean, if you do it enough, you can compress like a bunch of vinyls into like one mega vinyl.
It's then one big licorice disc.
Yeah, you just like it's like how astronauts like they have like the fucking like freeze dried food and they open it up and it expands out. You do that with vinyls. You can have like one fucking vinyl in its sleeve and everything, and you expose it to air and like boop, you have an entire collection of music now.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I was just saying this is the feeling I get when I see alleged fans, high level fans, so much that they make content about it, and not even have a fucking book stand, and have it like this, have it like almost fall over. It looks like it's almost falling over. It's why my attention is captivated by this. I'm just waiting for it to fall over, and I know it won't.
All right.
But it's my brain is constantly
Calm down, Wisp.
on the edge of, dude.
Just a bookshelf. It's okay.
Don't worry, he'll have a stupid take on something.
All right. Okay, let's go.
Undoubtedly.
Watching a called Luke Cage. This is the third of Marvel's Defenders shows on Netflix. At a very necessary time. The titular Luke Cage started off in comics in the era of blaxploitation and was the first mainstream black superhero to headline during a comic book.
2016, right?
His powers are
I don't know if you could call it blaxploitation in comic books. That was sort of the origin of having.
Kinda.
Can you define blaxploitation? Because
In
in Europe that
comics?
is mostly unknown.
I would say in B movies, but not comics.
Yeah. We're talking like, like a super 70, like think of like 70s culture, especially 70s black culture distilled into a movie. And that's like things like Petey Wheatstraw, Black Dynamite,
Yeah.
Black Caesar Shaft, of course Shaft is awesome though.
If that's a display, if that's an excessive display of that culture of that era, wouldn't that render the current SJW creations that have very extremely stereotypical black people culture today blaxploitation?
But it's not even fun black stereotypes.
Yeah, like when I think
it's fucking like Ta-Nehisi Coates putting Black Panther in a cardigan and fucking giant Urkel glasses and making him shop for condos and upper fucking.
Like when I'm thinking of blaxploitation movie, I'm thinking like James Bond's what's the one in the New Orleans Live and Let was it Live and Let Die?
I didn't watch any of the Roger Moore ones. I'm not a fan of him.
It was good because it was funny because Roger Moore films are relatively funny, and it was kind of goofy, ridiculous the way they died. Like they blew up like a balloon and did all this crazy stuff. There's all this voodoo stuff in there. There was Solitaire, who was played by
the crazy one. Okay.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was like this is an awesome film. So I guess technically you could call that blaxploitation because it was with black people, culture, that sort of thing. But it was fun. So you're not taking it seriously anyway. You're not like, oh, this is how it all is in the Bay. It was like, no, this is just a James Bond film. Don't take it seriously. It's fine. So that's what I think of blaxploitation, not a comic book. That's just Stan Lee trying to be cool.
We want black superheroes. Oh, if you make one, then it's blaxploitation.
Yeah.
Seeds in the chat pointed out something. Black Dynamite was a parody of it that was starred Michael Jai White, and that is correct. I was thinking of Dolomite.
Oh,
That's the black exploitation.
those are ridiculous things. Those things. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, I think Red Letter Media made a thing about that. I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, PD Wheatstraw. PD Wheatstraw's fucking hilarious.
Okay. Here's some super chats. Get those over with. Mariner 7012. Dangerous levels of soy detected. Diagnosis cuck. Okay. Thank you, Mariner. Mike Testa. The movies exist so Marvel could keep the rights. That's a
the film rights.
Yes.
strange way of looking at it, but I'm sure they enjoyed.
That's how the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie that never got aired existed.
Oh, they had to make something with their money so they could
Yes.
dump it into. Oh, jeez. All right. There's lots of weird things happening in Hollywood. I don't want to know about them. Mariner 1712. I have a lot of very worn art books from my childhood, not from disdain, but because I use them so much.
Yep.
Cool. That's cool. I have a lot of sketchbooks too. It's normal. Here's Jake the Surgeon. Hey, Jake. This man looks like he was an experiment to cross soy and mam, creating the ultimate beta. Wow.
Beta.
Anyway, let's see what he has to say. I'll judge him by his words first.
Simple. Strength, durability, and endurance, along with his most defining characteristic, unbreakable skin. The joke has been made a million times and was even pointed out in the show several times as well. In a world of police brutality, a bulletproof black man is a powerful symbol. Being released in
a world of police
2016,
brutality
Luke Cage
shows
put
a
out
gangland hit. That was one of Diamond or Cottonmouth's boys shooting up Pop's barbershop.
Wait, is there any police
Yeah.
brutality in the show? I'm sure there might be.
No.
There isn't?
No.
Why does he say symbol?
Like, the only time there was any kind of police anything is when Luke Cage got hit with this experimental bullet that managed to, like, drill his way through his skin and, like, exploded through him. And, like, I can't remember exactly what, but Luke Cage had done something that had a bolo, created a bolt, that made the police put a bolo out for him.
Right.
And he was looking around, and he was, like, pale as fuck, bleeding out. Right, they tried to take him in, like, yo, you're Luke Cage. You're like, hey, man, you don't look so good. But he didn't want to get arrested, because if he got arrested, he would have died from the wounds, so he had to knock them around and get away to someone who could fix him.
Well, if anything, wasn't Diamondback killing cops?
Yes!
So what police?
Pretty sure he threw one off a
brutality?
roof. So technically, yes, there is police brutality, if, if we take those words literally, yeah. Like, brutality towards the police.
So maybe he's interpreting it in a more literal sense, meaning the times of 2020. And Luke Cage is a great hero because he's impenetrable skin. And you're like, okay, whatever, fine. We'll take it that way.
Yeah, but what does it? I hope he explains what he means by symbol.
I think that's it.
Let's
that's it.
hope.
It's just a black man with
That's it,
impenetrable
yeah.
skin. That's as far as
Yeah, but what kind of symbol is that?
a
fucking
guy
know.
who can get shot
Black
and not
symbol.
die. I don't.
Like, General Butt
What-
Naked
what-
thought he had unbreakable skin too, but that doesn't mean we should follow his example.
No, I don't.
Oh yeah,
That's a bad idea. All right.
time where this kind of was on the forefront of audiences' minds, as the Black Lives Matter movement was in full swing, especially as it was seeing national recognition post-2014 with the demonstration.
You mean the movement that yells, what was it? Pigs in a blanket? Frying
Oh,
like
that was
bacon?
original.
Prime like bacon, yeah.
First, a few years back,
Oh.
that was what they were saying.
That was
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
The only good cop
Yeah.
is a dead
Remember-
cop, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Marching
Like,
through
remember
the streets, and I brought it up the last couple streams when Black Lives Matter was still very small. They were abducting a disabled kid and torturing it with burning cigarette stumps on his head to get back at black people, at white people.
Okay,
And
Light
live-streamed that.
Yaga me in the chat. No, like, he says Power Girl has unbreakable skin that can only be destroyed by kryptonite, just like Luke Cage can only be destroyed by vibranium weapons. So Luke Cage stole from DC. No, this kind of thing has been around since the time of Achilles. Right? It's like, this character is invulnerable except for one weakness.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a new concept, bro.
Yeah, that's an old thing. And there's other magical characters in mythology that have that.
Mm-hmm. Was it the Norse god?
The next equivalent, was it Sigurd of the Nibelungen saga?
Yes.
He bathed in dragon's blood, but when he bathed to be invulnerable, but when he bathed, one leaf fell from a tree and landed on the back of his shoulder, and he didn't notice. And that is the very spot that he then was hit and wounded by.
Mm-hmm.
And the same is in Norse mythology with Balder. Balder was made invulnerable by Frey because she didn't want to lose her son.
That's what
And I think they used that in the last God of War game, in Dead of War.
Yep.
Except for because the trick was that Frey, in order to make him, he wasn't really invulnerable. Frey just went throughout the world and asked every creature and every plant to please not hurt him, so that nothing could hurt him because everything refused to wound him. Except for I forgot what kind of twig it was. Mistletoe, thank you. And and Loki then used that exact trick, played a trick on Balder at a big banquet, big festival. And Balder died.
I love that Freya was the first helicopter mom. Like going around the neighborhood asking all the neighborhood kids to please leave her little Timmy alone because he's a sensitive, fragile little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
Following the Michael Brown and Eric Garner. Hell, the movie itself even gets a shout out in episode 1.
Michael Brown, he choked out a Korean store owner for wanting him to pay. No, Michael Brown was not spending all day spreading the word of Jesus Christ. Like, he also tackled a cop and tried to take his gun from him.
Yeah, that'll get you shot.
That tends to get you killed.
Yeah.
Justifiably.
Guys, don't fight the
that's
cops.
suicide by cop.
Don't fight cops.
See, I'm no fan of the police. I don't like the police, but I'm consistent with it, right? Like, these motherfuckers, like I said before the show, these motherfuckers be like, "Oh, fuck the cops. All cops are bastards." And then as soon as something bad happens, why the police ain't here? So I'm gonna call the po-po.
The whole point of the police is to subvert
know.
our laws because we give them the right to do so, and they can take your life legally if you do something improper. Now, they could also do something improper.
That's not a subversion of the law.
Well, we give up our rights, essentially. That's what we do. We give them to the police and say, you are allowed to kill. You're allowed to do things that normally are against the law because you have the authority.
The way rephrase it is that the monopoly on violence is given to them. They have the monopoly on violence.
Which is fine if they were not state agents.
Depending on the jurisdiction.
If they were just an independent policing force.
Right. You could argue that.
Could work.
You could argue the specific...
You mean like OCP?
Yeah, with the giant mechs, yeah. Well,
listen, give me OCP and give me that fucking like Barrett 50 cal with the explosive rounds that RoboCop had at the end of the movie.
Anyway,
like I'm fully libertarian in that regard. I want privatized tanks.
You know what? If you're in Canada and you're
thing is,
Native American, you can own a tank.
What?
And a
piece, shit! I'm gonna move.
And artillery. You can own all this stuff. It's crazy. It's like, how did this work?
Wait a minute. How can like you told us one time that fucking Canada is getting like Big Brother Australia's hand-me-down fucking attack choppers and like cruisers and shit from England that they decommissioned 30 years ago, but Native Americans there can have tanks.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We bend over
How did
backwards.
Canada get more retarded than I thought
We-
it was 5 minutes ago?
If you
Why
are,
again are they not taking back their lands? The also oppressed
They're
people?
they're too busy drinking the fire water and smoking peace pipe, Wisp.
when it comes to being fair and equitable, Canada just goes crazy. We're just like, all right,
Are you implying that drugs make people compliant and sheeple?
Yes.
well, not entirely. Anyway,
That's the only explanation.
here is Jake the Surgeon. I'm behind a woman in a drive-thru, and I can see her besting her kids in the back seat. Bravo, Mom. I don't know. Is that
What color is she? Because I'm assuming similar to the person on screen is all.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
say.
imagine just the woman on screen besting her kids. There you go. Works for me. Anyway,
Okay.
let's keep going.
Cool.
For Black lives, Black history, and Black ownership must also matter.
But there's one detail of the show that helps elevate Luke
Oh,
Cage from just
black
a superhero
ownership.
to an
Wait, black ownership must matter, and that's why you destroy all these
That's
black
yeah,
businesses.
that's why we only destroy the black businesses that we currently shop at. What?
So these
That makes
people
a lot
call
of
most of these people call themselves socialists or even communists, and they want to fight. They claim to fight capitalism. So it's fine to destroy businesses in your areas, and they justify that also by, oh, but you have insurance, don't you? Which doesn't always cover these instances.
Yeah, like how as soon as you burn something, that falls under hazardous material, and the insurance doesn't cover disposal of hazardous material. And if it does, it only covers about a third of it, and the rest
Why
of the
not?
expense is on the business owner. Because
Why not? Are
hazmat,
they racist?
yes,
And all these
it's
and
obvious. It's obvious these people are racist against me and my building burning ways.
Yeah, totally.
And even that all aside, it's still that these commies are, by acting that way, by doing these things, are helping the big companies. Because those are the only ones that survive, because they can afford it. All they do is help the big companies, the real bad capitalists, to get rid of any competition.
That's what happens with.
Bravo.
That's what's happening with COVID, with all the restaurants not being allowed to open, or even the grocery stores, the small mom and pop shops, because places like Costco are allowed to open. They won't let you buy hot or fresh food from Costco because that's the bonus of going to the mom and pop shop, because they have hot tables, they have sandwiches and all kinds of fresh things. So if the mom and pop shop can't do it, Costco can't do it. So you can still go to Costco, but you can't buy a TV.
It's like, yeah, you and 500 other people can go to Costco, right?
Yeah, I know.
But you can't have 20 people in a mom and pop shop.
And you can't go to Costco to buy food. You can't buy a TV. You can't buy jewelry. You can't buy cell phones. You can't buy technology. Like nothing. Like this, it's weird. Only the necessities. Only canned goods.
Only
Yeah, but
the
even that
only
doesn't
the
make sense.
necessities, like fucking like shit from Amazon, right? Oh, by the way, you can order things from Amazon. You can have a fucking stranger walk up to your house and drop off a package that was handled by some guy who has to piss in a jar because Jeff Bezos doesn't allow him to take bathroom breaks. And that's fucking handled with his nasty ass dick germs. And he's passing along to the other guy with nasty ass dick germs. Fucking multiply that by 20 times, and then you handed the dick germ covered box to the fucking driver who has to interact with everybody on his route. So there's just COVID and dick germs just all over town. But don't go to the mom and pop shop, right?
Yeah. Furniture apparently don't fall under this either. IKEA here at least doesn't deliver certain.
If they can't sell furniture, then
certain
how are they
stuff.
gonna get their fucking child slaves?
Yeah, but do you know what you can do? They say, well, because of the COVID thing, we're not delivering everything. And I don't see the consistency in what they deliver and what they don't. But you can drive by and fetch it. Go into the store with all these other hundreds of people. Wait there in a room until you're called and get your stuff. But they don't deliver it to your home. I'm sorry, that's just retarded. That's the opposite of what makes sense. And a friend of mine, the family has a well, it's not a kiosk, it's a bit bigger than that. In a larger village. It's like the hub of the local area in Bavaria. And like it's not a supermarket. I'd say it fits the description of mom and pop shop to a degree, without the hot food. And because it's not just like a gas station. They have more stuff than that. They also have magic cards and some Warhammer stuff because he's into that. And they basically have everything a little bit. And due to the COVID rules, they were then because of this how the essentials were regulated, they were not allowed to sell toys anymore. However, the big store in the next town, like from a big chain, was allowed to do that. And there was a supermarket that mainly sold food, but there are some instances of these supermarkets that just have everything if they cover a large rural area. And they were allowed to do that because they had over 40% of their assortment was toys. So then you are allowed to do that. But since that mom and pop shop like thing didn't have 40% toys, they were not allowed to sell any toys. Although they're the only big thing in the area. It's just you cannot survive as a small business. That's all these rules are about. It's not about and it's not about health. The way they drive people to get into large places, large crowds, then they don't care about spread at all. It's all I see, because there's no consistency if you wanted to do that. Same with the allowing demonstrations for Black Lives Matter, but not for anything else. Like, so if you demonstrate for Black Lives Matter, then you are immune to COVID or what? To COVID spread.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, it doesn't make sense. Fuck you.
No,
Then it's not about health. Nothing is about health. It's all about politics and destroying small businesses.
All right.
So that the large businesses profit. And that's why, and maybe that is also why Black Lives Matter is allowed to burn down all the small businesses. Maybe that's the key aspect of why it is being allowed by the state that is in large part controlled by big corporations.
That's because they keep kneecapping themselves while fighting the man. Meanwhile, the man is laughing at them.
All right.
Yeah, and that's why Jack O'Neill never wanted to be the man.
Here's Vladimir Dragunov. Wait, so natives in Canada have more gun rights than normal Canadian citizens? Watch that be interpreted wrong somehow. The law has been around for at least 20 years. It just got revised last year because of some shooting that happened in Nova Scotia where some guy shot up a small little town he lived in. But
very questionable story.
It's a weird one. But the indigenous people of that area were like, well, we're exercising our Section 35 rights to allow... It's weird because the ban was for assault weapons, which were already banned. And they just reiterated the same law from 20 years ago. But because they're hunters and that's how they live off the land, so you can't do that to them, so yada yada, they can still own all the crazy guns they want. So.
Oh, they're living off the land with their fucking privatized tanks. Okay.
Yeah, essentially. They're
we
pieces of artillery.
We use every part of the buffalo once we find him after we shell him with our fucking tanks.
After you rip through with howitzers. Just whoosh.
And I'm sure it cooks pretty well, too.
I love it. Canada's fantastic. Anyway, let's get going.
That giant shell in your mouth, shell fragment. Yeah, that's fine. Tastes good.
I love the way it breaks my teeth.
And as for silly as it sounds, it's his hoodie. Now, Cage has had many outfits over the years, from his yellow button-down and tiara, to his leather jacket, to his now standard yellow t-shirt. But the hoodie in the TV show was a conscious decision. Unless you've been living under a rock, the Black Lives Matter movement...
Get fucked. Get fucked.
You don't know shit about Black Lives Matter. That's what's so disturbing. Most of the people supporting Black Lives Matter don't know anything about it.
Honestly, I don't think Comic Drake has ever seen a black person in real life.
You don't think?
But I was protesting. With Black Lives Matter. Yeah, take a look at the demographic of the Black Lives Matter protests.
Well, I do recall.
Bunch of white people,
let me just sum it up. It's like trying to find peppercorns in the tundra.
No. When they first published they had a manifesto, the Black Lives Matter movement, online. It lasted
They have. All communists have manifestos.
That's the thing. It lasted for a few months.
They always call it manifestos.
And guess what was in it? A bunch of, I wouldn't say Marxist, but pretty close. Definitely socialist, redistributionist, wealth stuff. We want reparations. Yeah. We want all this crap. And
they're openly right. We want to destroy the family unit.
It was a lot of weird stuff. Like it had good intentions. Like, we want to help the community by bringing money towards
by destroying the family,
by taking apart whatever current funds exist for public housing and making more of it. Like, you want more socialism. You want more handouts.
She took all that money and redistributed it into 4 properties that she bought for herself.
Well,
in white neighborhoods.
I don't know who wrote this, but it was taken down within months. I remember seeing it years ago. I thought that's not going to fly very well. And then it eventually was hidden. So fun stuff. BLM, great web designers and content creators, I guess. I don't know.
It's basically the quick version of the Cuban story. With Castro and ending up as the richest man on the fucking island and everyone in the institution, everyone else. Because that's always what happens in socialism. It's all more state to tax people even more so that it ends up in the ruling class that allegedly will not exist in communism anymore because everyone will be the same. Except, of course, the pig at the top of the animal farm that gets the fattest.
Who's more equal than everyone else.
Animal Farm is about socialism in particular. And the socialists constantly try to say no. It's about authoritarianism and tyranny.
Yes, and what is communism again? What's communism?
All of these things. And in regards to all the gaslighting, I try to remind people of in particular in East German history. Number one is Walter Ulbricht. He was the architect of East Germany, the German Democratic Republic. It was nothing about that thing was fucking democratic. It was as democratic as North Korea or China. You have a unity party. And that is what democratic socialism is. It's socialism with a democratic paint job. Because he said in 1945, so long before that thing was even created, that it has, his exact quote was, "It has to look democratic, but we have to have it all in our hands." And he was chairman of East Germany. He was the first chairman of East Germany for decades. And that's what democratic socialism is. Do not believe any lie that there's somehow democracy attached to it. It's like the Chinese parliament thing where everybody has to vote for the thing that is being proposed. And that's it. And there's only one party, and that is not democracy. And if you have your fringe little controlled fig leaf of an opposition party that is usually even outside government, then that is still not democracy. That's just a diversion for you to believe that the opposite opinions are allowed. It's just free people. So what's the point? And by the way, it looks similar with the United States, where every time you try to make a third party work or a new one, that you're just being laughed at, and they usually stop laughing the moment you get support for it, which takes a few years to build, but that's another story. The second person relevant for the East German story is Erich Mielke. I think he was interior minister. I have to look that up. I keep mixing that up. And he said he's famous for 2 quotes in relatively short succession. One is his meek response with the most pouty of voices, where he said, "Aber ich liebe doch alle Menschen," which means, "But I love all humans. I love all people." Excellent. And the second one, and that is in East Germany, people were shot for trying to get out of it, just like North Korea. And the second important quote from Erich Mielke is, is when he said, nobody has the intention to build a wall. 2 weeks later, the border was closed and the wall was being built. 2 weeks. Before that, it was a conspiracy theory. You were labeled conspiracy theorists for pointing out that there are plans to shut the border and all the other vile things, and that the wall should be built. And 2 weeks later, the fucking thing is being built.
That feels familiar.
Yeah,
No,
the
well,
EU does this all the fucking bloody time. The US government does this all the time. Canada does this all the time. With, Bill C-16 is not about compelling speech from anyone. Nobody will be locked up just for not saying the right pronouns. And look where we are.
Like, listen,
Now
all
we're
we
at
have to
the point
do.
again where we take away the healthy children from good parents because they're not toting the government line.
What you need to
Just
do
like
is
in-
you
just
need
like
to
in
get
Soviet-
friends, become friends with the Canadian Native Americans, and then you can misgender anyone all the fuck you want, because who's gonna fucking fuck with you when your buddy, fucking Sitting Bull, is sitting there in a fucking Panzer tank with a cannon aimed at you?
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't love Jordan Peterson.
Yeah,
But
Jordan
he-
Peterson. How many Native American Canadian Native American friends does Jordan Peterson have?
I think he's even acknowledged by some tribe or something.
That was a controversy
yeah.
because
Really?
And Jonathan Peugeot is a close friend of his, I think.
yeah, that was a big thing about a few years back because they thought he wasn't an honorary member. He was an honorary member, but the chief doesn't have the authority. It has to be done by the group. Yada yada. He's an honorary member. He's fine. There's no big deal. They liked him, so they're friends.
Yeah, that's the main point. They liked him.
essentially.
Berserk 850, build a wall to stop COVID. Yes, we absolutely should do that around the White House.
Okay, let's
Like,
keep going.
I just want to build a fucking concrete dome and keep the resident and the cop locked in there.
Here's Mike Testa. BLM is no better than a Scooby-Doo villain, JSYK. Jisik? I don't.
Just so you know.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you, Mike. You're always a mystery to us, but one of us.
which is not entirely incorrect, because all of the Scooby-Doo villains were pulling some kind of insurance or real estate fraud.
Oh yeah. It's a fake ghost. I'm just doing it to scare away all the tenants of the building so I can take the rent myself. Okay. Jake the Surgeon. I don't know why you're all complaining about BLM. Big Lich Milkies are great. I think
Yes.
I think you're talking
Yes.
about different BLM there, Jake.
You're talking about the
I-
AT&T girl?
No.
The
I
AT&T
too am-
girl. What?
Yeah, she got some big fat titties, and she got all fucking uppity about it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to show you my titties anymore because you make comments on them." Like, bitch, you're showing your titties on the internet. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? You know why you wear that low cut shit? You want men to look at your tits.
I can still see it.
The AT&T. They got a mascot or what? Is she like her own fan?
No, she's just some big titty
Yeah.
Jewish bitch. She's hot as fuck.
And she just like
I
shows
think
off. Has a phone from AT&T. That's
Sure,
it.
No,
why not?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Okay.
Like, some of the more recent commercials, she's standing at a desk which is like up to her fucking collarbone so that we can't see her tits. Like, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you on your knees in front of the fucking counter? This looks stupid. Stop it.
I will still see them. I have X-ray.
Like, bitch, the internet is forever. We all have those pics of you in that low-cut dress that you chose and wore specifically because you wanted to show your tits.
You made it worse now. Now I'm gonna picture you naked behind the counter.
Like, bitch, I'm about
but
to
she
masturbate
didn't
out of
want people to remind her that she's a slut. Just like all the Twitch ports. Twitch is a porn platform, but you're not allowed to say that.
Oh.
For kids too.
Which, by the way, why would you bother getting a Twitch subscription? There's like fucking Pornhub and X videos and X Hamster for free.
Anyway, back to the video, guys. Let's go.
Because she's unique. She's different.
No, she's absolutely not. She's a carbon copy of every other fucking whore on the planet.
Yeah,
But she talks to me.
No, she doesn't. Like,
Just find it hilarious
all
that
all you did was fucking put money into a fucking speak and spell in a bikini. That's it. That's all this bitch is.
Why you ruined this for me?
Anyway.
Because I want you to save your money and like just bust nuts for free, boy.
Okay.
You don't have to pay these thoughts.
Just
Get
don't
more
understand
bang
and
for
find
your
it-
buck is all I'm saying.
Find it hilarious that you're never allowed to point out that or say that they're doing it for the money. You're not allowed to say it.
You can't even say
They'll
certain
ban
words.
you.
That's funny.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's awesome. Jake, thank you. Smud, how could you not remember the Wiz's Big Lich Milkies and Konosuba? Well,
Oh yeah.
that's a
Wiz,
completely
Wiz,
different topic. I think.
Oh, the
Wiz.
Lich. That's
Yeah.
what you...
Yeah.
Anyway, different topic, different show. Let's get back to our show, which is Luke
There are
Cage.
many pictures of Wiz that I have seen.
Okay, let's go.
They're all very
It
nice.
started as when a young black man named Trayvon Martin was gunned down by a volunteer neighborhood watch person simply because he looked suspicious. In
A
his
volunteer neighborhood watch person who happened to also be a minority.
All right, so if you don't remember the Trayvon Martin
He was-
story, he attacked a guy who was following him for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
and he was hammer fisting him into the concrete. This man had every right to defend himself. If you start attacking a guy to the point of smashing his skull into the ground repeatedly, I think some recourse is due. So
But all he had was,
It was-
Skittles. All he had was Skittles and an Arizona iced tea, two of the main ingredients of lean. But whatever.
right,
Well,
it-
if I remember correctly, there's even pictures of him all beaten up,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And he called the cops. I think it was like a 4-minute call. There's also this law like stand your ground in Florida. That's where it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
right. There were lots of technical issues with the actual assault, but
hmm
the court, I think the court ruled that he was within his rights to defend himself, and
Yeah.
It-
So they had a trial.
yep, had a trial.
They charged him, right? And he was acquitted of all that, right?
The I can't remember the guy's name, but this was a while back. But yeah, he did get off because he did he was not found guilty, as far as I know.
Hispanic man.
Yeah, he's a strange fellow, but he wasn't doing anything illegal. He was trying to protect his community, his neighborhood watch, and he got the crap knocked out of him until he decided to defend himself. So anyway,
But it was the white man's fault.
apparently the white man is also Hispanic. I couldn't tell you. I don't know how that
Yeah.
works.
And cop. And he was a cop.
Here is Vladimir Dragunov. The Twitch THOT will never love you, no matter how much money you give her. Think,
Yes.
Mark. Think, Mark.
Hey, think, Mark. Why would you pay to see a girl in a bikini when you could see sluts naked for free on the very same internet where you are? Think, Mark.
It's about the wholesome values. That's why.
Here is Vladimir
Want you to
Dragunov.
feel like you're doing something.
No.
You-
It's the
you-
same reason. It's the same reason other people give to charity.
Like, listen, we all know what you're doing, boy. You're busting a nut. Why don't you do it for free?
It's all because it's for the fantasy of.
It's not
you can't-
meaningful.
If I give her money, I feel a magical parasocial attachment to her.
Like-
It's about creating that. It's about creating that artificial attachment that has no real meaning in the world, but in your head.
But
I just
how-
want to
you
do
can
that Star
hire an
Killer thing.
escort.
It was real to me.
Hire an escort. You can get a girlfriend experience. An
I
actual
would, but
girl. It
it's
may be more
illegal.
expensive. No.
It's illegal.
Listen,
Unless
as
if
no.
you have a camera.
Yeah, I was-
But Bears, that could fail. That could fail. The Twitch
try
bot
harder.
thing, it never work. It can never work in the first place, so you cannot fail.
What? How do you fail at hiring a prostitute? I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a brain scratcher.
Anyway, here's Vladimir Dragunov again. Unarmed does not equal not dangerous. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right.
but no, he's not allowed to defend himself.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go.
claimed self-defense, seemingly scared of Martin and his pocket full of Skittles. And even though the shooter was charged with Martin's death, he was acquitted, and this made people justifiably mad. From there, the hoodie became a symbol of
Justifiably.
outrage and solidarity with Trayvon. Actor Mike Coulter, who plays Cage, had this to say, quote, "When I was growing up, I consciously didn't wear or buy hoodies because I was afraid of this kind of thing, this mistaken identity, this kind of perception. My mother was always talking to me about this. It's like, don't fit the description." Again, this conversation doesn't happen in homes outside of black homes because they're not considered.
Get fucked. No, my uncle was driving around in his box van in 1973. My white as fuck German uncle. Second generation born in this country, German uncle. Was driving around in his box van. Literally not doing nothing. Actually not doing nothing. When a whole fucking fleet of cop cars surrounded him, they pulled him the fuck out of his van at gunpoint. Why? Because he fit the description of a guy who had just robbed a bank. And if he had struggled, they were going to kill him. They told him that after they found out that it was not mistaken, that was mistaken identity.
Mm-hmm. That's why even when you do not know, there are good cops, there are bad apples. You do not know which one you are dealing with. If you treat every cop like a bad apple, they will treat you like the asshole you are, because they have to, because it's about their survival as well. If you act up, they don't know whether you have a gun. Like, I don't know if you've seen that there's a district that now instantly releases all police footage from every shooting of their cops.
Wow.
And there was this one in the parking lot with this absolutely deranged fat woman, and the cop himself, he was morbidly obese, but he was probably the friendliest and most lenient cop you will ever come across, and still the woman never complied to anything. He kept asking her, please stay at the side of the car, repeatedly, and she kept asking whether she could go to the toilet, while he was because the car was marked as belonged to a criminal or something, and that thing still, she kept going back into the front seat and started rummaging inside, and he kept asking her in the most friendly manner to please come back out and stand beside the car, repeatedly. If that cop would have been as bad as Black Lives Matter makes out all cops, would have been shot dead at the first transgression of not complying. Instead, this cop was so friendly, so patient and lenient, that she got around to find the fucking gun in the car that she probably called on the telephone before and shot him.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe what I was fucking seeing. And they're releasing this footage now instantly, so that bullshit stories like the Floyd crap cannot even start to fester. And I should have done this years ago. They should have probably done this with this thing in the 90s that happened. But back in the day, people still thought that, if we don't show this, then we don't look as bad, and the story will go away on its own. But that always just made it faster. You need to put it all into the light. That's the only disinfectant. You need to do it instantly, because otherwise,
I don't think it matters though. They've even had footage, and it's still not. It's not enough.
Yeah, of course they're trying. Of course they're always trying to twist it into a bad light. But when you have the footage available instantly, it is harder
we had
to do that.
A similar case of the opposite, where we had a bad cop who's been on the service for 15, 20 years. It was a lady cop, and she shot a man. And it was an altercation on the highway where he was about to get away, and she pulled out her actual service revolver as opposed to her taser. And she was saying, I'm going to tase you, while holding the gun in her hand. And we have the camera up from her perspective.
Was she retarded or evil?
She was retarded, that's all I could say. And and we see it's like basically a first person perspective, and we see her saying, "I have a taser," and she's holding the gun. We see from her perspective holding the gun and then firing the gun, and you're like, "Oh,
I bet
you
her
are
defense
fucked."
lawyer then said, her defense lawyer probably said, "Well, she didn't lie. She had a taser at her belt."
Like, Your Honor, this is a woman, right?
That was the argument. That was the argument by
the defense rests.
That was from Steven Crowder. I saw that episode where he's like, it's a lady. What are you gonna do? So it was pretty sad.
It shoots things.
They even went after a black cop too, right?
That taser was louder than I remember it being. Why is he dead?
And she was with her partner for the same amount of time they were on the force together. So something happened in her brain, and she just resigned the day after, and yada yada.
Oh, it's called a period, Smud. Come on now.
Okay.
Learn the terms.
All right. Anyway, yeah, mistakes happen all the time. Bad cops do occur, and lapses of judgment do occur for both parties.
Another thing.
So, what do you guys think of?
Go on.
No. My apologies.
Okay. The whole don't fit the description stuff. You can pull the same in Germany with something, and this is part of the grander thing of clothes make people, which is there's an old fable, parable, novella about that. I forgot the author. Might even be Goethe, but it was a very boring one. Point being, I usually wore black clothes, because I went to many metal concerts, etc. But so it wasn't the exact Antifa garb. However, when you walk around with black cargo pants and a black hoodie, and only wear black T-shirts, and on top of that wear the kind of boots you wear to a metal concert, because you don't want Fisa Fettsager. What's the name of the fat Scottish guy in Austin Powers?
Fat
in
bastard.
English. Fat bastard. Yeah, you don't want fat bastard to step on your feet dancing to the metal band. It's kind of not cool. That's why we have the boots with the metal caps in.
I mean, Wispy could have just said Drachenlord.
Yeah, it's not because there are stupid people in Germany who think that if you have these boots on and are not working on a construction site, you must be a Nazi because they wear these boots. No fucking hell. If Nazis, the old coding for Nazis, and they abandoned that coding, was that they wear these kinds of boots, but with white shoelaces. That was their coding. Otherwise, you wear these things for not getting your feet hurt, for fuck's sake. And in winter, it's not fun to have the metal caps in your shoes, because that freezes your toes off. Anyway, so you have this garb, and maybe you even have long hair. And every time I went to any place where you had police controls, which is also witnessing court proceedings, for example, and I always got singled out when I wore that, because they thought I was Antifa. So everybody was let through except me, and they went through all my stuff. And since I have a lot of tech on me, the cops were very friendly guys. They were always surprised with how many phones do you have? What are these USB sticks? You have a laptop with you. What is this thing? It was when smartphones were new. I didn't know what this was, and many other things. And mainly also surprised how much stuff I had on me, because it didn't look like that. I didn't have a backpack, but I like to have lots of bags on my clothes. So I need to empty all of them. Then I need to sort it all back inside. And I got so annoyed by that at some point, or rather played around with it, that at other occasions, and even in the same places, I dressed differently. Not being singled out. Every time I dressed like that, the cops thought I was some Antifa guy, so they need to check whether I have any shit on me. It's the same thing with this stuff in your black urban communities. If you look like the typical criminal, you will be singled out. Because that's what you do.
Well, that can be extended to anybody.
Yeah.
Just like a simple thought experiment. What kind of person do you think of when I say meth dealer? It's probably not a black guy, is it?
It's
I don't
Walter
know.
White.
From the popular shows, yes, that would be the general idea from people who are aware of these pieces of media.
Oh, real life. Yeah.
Real life? I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't know. Yeah, couldn't tell you.
I have absolutely no idea. The only time I started noticing weird people on the street was when, for a time, I took part in what was this the first Niantic game before the Pokemon Crab version. Oh, fuck, I forgot the name. The thing where you role played as these secret organizations that were taking up nodes in geological positions to make patterns on the world map to gain points.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forget the name though. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. And it was then that I noticed weird people on the street. Because when you play that game, you are automatically on the lookout at all these key positions that are all fixed for, is this someone from my team or from the opposite team? Because you start, in your head, you automatically start planning. But because you are looking for suspicious people automatically in the real world around you on the street, you start noticing all the other weirdos that are not part of the game. But it was the first time I noticed, for example, the bloody guy who comes out of a side street wearing a trench coat and obviously not wearing pants. I never assumed I would ever see such a guy in Germany in a small town like this. And okay, that's interesting. And probably also the only time where I noticed that guy probably sells weed.
Yes.
And then all these things. And that guy's probably an undercover cop. And only while playing this game, I was suddenly aware of all these weirdos in the street that were behaving out of the ordinary, that were behaving somewhat suspicious. And I would assume that a cop naturally has this kind of thing going on in his head. That who's acting out of the ordinary in some special way, who's standing in a weird way, who's dressed in a weird way, that already triggers some pattern recognition of this guy or this woman is up to something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have to do that, every time they're out on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that self-awareness probably just grows more and more, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you notice this about how people walk, how they look around, how they move, their body movements, where they stand, how they are waiting for something. If you're just waiting for a friend, you stand there in a different way than if you're waiting for customers to sell drugs to.
Okay, let's keep going here. Logical's Moki, thank you. Nothing to see, just some support. Thank you, sir. Always nice. Jake the Surgeon, Twitch thoughts are an illusion made up by reptiloids trying to sterilize our cats. Okay. Thank you, Jake. Here is Tyler Preston. I once heard that Trayvon Martin was encouraged by his girlfriend talking on the phone who said that George Zimmerman was homosexual and that he was going to rape him. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that little bit of info there. And here's Vladimir Dragunov. I was the kid who wore a trench coat to school. So did I. That was actually during the time the trench coat mafia shooting thing happened. So I was doing it before.
Yeah, but did you wear pants?
Yes. I like pants.
I like how Stuck in a Wisp thinks Smudge just goes to school with no pants on.
Well, the guy had shoes and he had these white tennis socks, but you clearly said he didn't wear pants. Why do you wear a trench coat and shoes and socks, but your hairy legs are on display?
No,
While you're going into the park.
Good Catholic boy. There we go.
In the summer. Why are you wearing a trench coat in the summer while you not wear pants beneath? I mean, yeah, it's hot, but that might explain maybe you have short pants beneath that. But why the trench coat? Come on.
Anyway,
That combination rings a bell.
let this go.
No.
Yes.
No.
Too bad.
Concern. To understand what a hoodie means is that I can't necessarily be comfortable and do things I want to do because of how people perceive me. So I consciously decided not to buy hoodies. But when the Trayvon Martin thing happened, I actually went out and got hoodies because I was hurt. I was frustrated, and it was a show of unity. Because I said, I can't walk around consciously thinking about what I'm wearing, and this is putting me at risk of being shot because of what someone was thinking. It made me upset that I had to consciously think that, and that I had been thinking that way for 30-something odd years because of this exact thing.
All right, what do you think about that?
All right. So
Because right away, it already comes out like he's thinking about himself before he's thinking about the kid.
that's what it comes down
Like,
to. And you're trying to identify
sounds
with this
like-
guy who beat the shit out of a man, and the only thing you come up with what he's wearing. So we have to have a symbol. It's the hoodie.
And like, come on, he's a Hollywood actor.
Like, he reminds me of Colin Kaepernick.
Something along those lines. This is a
Like-
very strange argument.
He sounds like he was raised by white people
It's like when you see a movie.
in an upper
Hold
middle
on.
class white people home.
you know,
Has never experienced a bad interaction with the cops ever. But as soon as the man that he's supposedly fighting against tells him, "Hey, this was because of police brutality or some shit. You can trust me. I'm the man. Why wouldn't you trust me?" That's when he gets like. That's when he starts singing, "I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all," and then buys a hoodie to show solidarity because, whatever. I don't fucking know. Never mind.
He doesn't show that when he wears his expensive suits to interviews, does he?
Yeah, it doesn't show that. He doesn't help out at the community centers or whatnot. Doesn't give, charities that help out inner city kids, get out of poverty or anything. But I bought a hoodie.
He just loves
Guys,
to preach about this shit.
How do
I
you
had to
do,
unfollow him.
fellow Negroes?
yeah, trying to.
This whole uniformism pisses me off every time, and I've noticed this years ago. So this may come off a bit extreme a take, but at demonstrations and when I saw TV interviews with activists and all of that shit, and every time they start dressing all the same way and marching around at a demonstration and talking about solidarity and then raising their fist as if it looks to me like the fascism they complain so much about. You are uniform, you march, and you raise your arm in a certain way. And you have to be all in unison. Yep. Solidarity is nothing but the fascism of the left that it so hates. It's just another word for it.
Think of it like fashion.
They like to tell the people what they think.
Well, think of like fashion trends in general, and now they're associating a movement of the death of a kid who, yes, it was tragic, but he had it coming. When you viciously attack someone, you are expecting that in return. And you have to be aware of that. This is just life. So to then say, "Oh, well, I felt this way growing up, and my mom did this, and yada yada," it's like you're making the opposite of a fashion faux pas because it's in style, because you watched a film that made you feel a certain way, and then it goes away in 2 weeks. But it didn't go away because the news kept reporting on it, but the emotion is gone. The art gallery is done. It's you're no longer watching.
I want to ask, didn't the kid also, he was in and out of juvie, and
oh yeah, he was not a great guy. Like all these stories, these kids or whatever do these sorts of things. This is like the story that Bears was talking about, that man who was attacking some guy in a Quickie Mart or whatever. Like they have records of either doing drugs, doing assault, stealing, what was the last guy, counterfeiting, being like, these are common things. So treat them as best you can, stay away from them if you ever encounter these are people when you walk downtown, you go, "Oh, let's just walk away, walk around." This happens a lot in Toronto. There's lots of weirdos in Toronto, especially. these days. So it's pretty common for girls to walk on the other side of the street, get the hell out of there, take a side street or what have you. So I don't know. This is a fleeting moment where you identify with something like a movie. I like how people, when they talk about books or movies, where they say, "Oh, I felt, I was going through a bad time, and my dad died, or I got into a car accident, and for whatever reason, Mass Effect made you feel better because of the cinematic experience of talking to people, is like talking to others, and you can identify with that." It's any simple identification, which media has on people. Stories in the news, political messages, science fiction, whatever you want it to be. Your brain goes, "Oh, I can associate with that. It makes me feel X." And then a week later, the emotion's gone, but the story still remains. And depending on if it's a real life thing, like a murder or a shooting, the story...
It may help process something.
Yeah, sure. There's definitely some psychological benefit to this. But once you're grown up as a mature adult, you go, "Oh, I know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I've felt this before when I was a kid. I know what that is. I can get on with life. It's not a big deal." Focus on the facts.
Yeah.
Tell me the story, and don't join parades. Don't join all these people protesting over the death of someone. Yeah, it's tragic. Tragedy is every day of your life. It's life.
Yeah, and as a clarification for what I said before, I came to the conclusion that this practice of the left, of what they call solidarity, is fascism because it is compelled solidarity. You are forced to comply with it when someone says something is going on. You have to be in solidarity with that, no matter what. Because if you are not, then they will shun you.
Yeah.
Then they will ask, "Well, but why are you not? Why are you not supporting us?
Yeah. If you're
are you of the enemy?"
If you're a comedian and trying to make fun of this scenario, you're dead. You're toast.
Not just that, if you are in your normal social group, wherever that is, your normal benign group, and you have and it has a certain level of or quantity of hard lefties at some, and or even if you are in a lefty group, and they want you to be in solidarity with something that recently happened, and you wonder, well, that sounds a bit far-fetched. They will harpy in on you instantly.
It's just
and
ridiculous.
That's why I call that fascism. You have to be in it or you are out of it.
It was kind of strange to see a bunch of video game companies and media companies do that last year with the black JPEGs on Twitter. That was the strangest. Like, what is this shit? What are you doing? Why would you ever...
BLM and PlayStation, BLM and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
All this crap. You're like, dude, you're a game company. What the hell are you doing? EA was making some black programmer support team bullshit. Like, what is that going on?
That was so horrible. When
they don't care.
Was it PlayStation or Xbox, where they put this I don't know, 8-minute long black screen with a countdown on it.
Sure
that was forced on the players, and there's kids playing this. And you're forcing it down their throat, and you're showing them this "I can't breathe" message with a countdown, and you can't do anything about it. You have to let this run out. The kids sit there and what is this? And for some, this might be scary.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking kids alone.
Anyway,
you have to think about the kids all the time.
Here's a super chat by Alexander Welch. Why are the U.S. so obsessed with race? I don't have an exact answer, but as a Canadian looking in, I can only say it's a democratic technique. It's something.
It's because it's an easy way for Marxists to fracture us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is part of it, but it always comes from some Democrat in some jurisdiction, from some part of the city that is bad or whatever. And think of what you're doing to our inner cities. And you're like, what do you...
Well, just look back.
Well, it's just weird you never care about the other races.
Look back what all the founding socialists, communists, Marxists, Marx himself and Engels wrote about black people. And then I look at South Africa and Zimbabwe and all of that and think, why are these black people fans of Marx? He hated them.
But for the
I
same
don't know.
reason that there's a lot of black Muslims, Wisp. They don't fucking know what they're talking about. They just gotten taken in by an ideology. Because of my skin color.
Yeah, nobody cares about the white guy dying. Nobody cares about any other race dying.
Yeah.
Like they don't care about the black. They don't care about the black guy dying either. They just pretend to get more political power.
Yep.
Even my culture.
It's always the scam.
And that's why I had to stop following him because he has to make it about himself, and he has to pretend like he has to do something, and it's like, what are you doing then? Nothing.
Who did you stop to follow?
But my hoodie though.
Well, I used to really like the guy, but then every fucking day, he would always post some political bullshit, and I just didn't need to hear it every day, so I just unfollowed him.
Anyway, let's get back to this actor's emotional connection to a hoodie.
Yeah.
I can't women on airplanes wear hoodies sleeping, because when you travel, it's comfortable. You sleep, you put it on your head, and you don't think about it. There were times I was traveling in the cold and rain.
I don't know about you, but in Germany, hoodies are fairly popular with both sexes, and nobody gives a shit.
Everybody loves hoodies.
Yes.
Everybody loves
are
hoodies.
awesome.
You want to know why? Because they're a sweater that encompasses your head.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you
Great.
warm. They got drawstrings in them to make the encompassing of your head even more efficient.
But you don't get it. He was very aware
Yeah.
of how people might look at him if he wears a hoodie.
Yeah. You know what most people use the hood for? Rain.
Fucking be aware of my nuts, nigga. I don't give a shit that you bought a hoodie. Fuck off.
Yeah. And you know, people who wear the hood up on a day without rain, yes, they do look suspicious. Because why else would you try to hide your head? That is, and I would even get, because I know this from European medieval times, but I would guess this is a common thing all across the world, that someone who's trying to hide his head, hide his face on top of that, is someone who's ready to fight, who's ready for something suspicious going on and doesn't want to be known. All of these things. That is why what was derived from that is when you enter a house or an establishment, whatever you want to call it, you take off your hat, because taking off the hat is the equivalent of taking off your helmet in medieval times. Because if you enter somewhere and you keep your helmet on, that means you are expecting trouble or you are about to make trouble. It's the same about raising the face mask of a helmet, the grimace, and what is turned into is tipping your hat, because that's the motion you make when you lift the face, when you lift certain grimaces of certain helmets. Like you're not taking off the helmet, but you're giving the nod of, here, I am showing you my face. I am friendly. Hello. I do not mean you harm. And if you keep that on instead, and if you do not make these gestures, that is perceived as, at the very least, rude. So when you're trying to hide yourself, people will think you're up to something. Because why else would you try to stay anonymous in a way? Or armored up? If you are friendly, that's why we shake hands. Shaking hands shows that I am not carrying a weapon. Look, here's my open hand. We can shake it. We shake on it because we're not armed. We mean friendship, or at least we mean peace. We mean negotiation. That is where these gestures come from. Open hands and showing your face, lifting up your helmet, taking off your hat. It's all the same thing. It's all the same message. So if you keep that on, you are a suspicious character. And don't give me this shit about, oh, but my black urban culture. No, then your culture is shit and is inherently suspicious. Get a fucking proper culture, for fuck's sake. Get an update. Learn what these things mean in the rest of the world. And then you might get a grip on why people might be a little bit mistrusting towards you. More so than towards other people. Because you are acting like people who are up to shit. And that's not but that's only non-black people who think that. No, that's everyone but American black urbanites. Only American black urbanites are like that.
I remember there's a black guy in the South right now that owns a chicken joint, and he doesn't serve black people because they kept stealing from him.
Oh.
He does not let black people into his shop because they kept stealing from him.
Here's Vladimir Dragunov. I get the answer. It's much slavery. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go.
And I was afraid to put my hoodie up. Showrunner Cheo Coker also explicitly drew parallels Age and Martin's attire, saying, quote, "Of course Trayvon Martin haunts us all." My thing about that was showing that heroes can wear hoodies too. From the standpoint of seeing the fact that somebody saw him as being suspect because he had a hoodie on, we're flipping that and saying, look, heroes come from everywhere. Yes, heroes. Black men in hoodies can also be heroic. And so rather than thinking that somebody is a suspect, they could be coming to save you too. I get
Fucking Trayvon Martin was not coming to save anybody. He was sneaking around in people's backyards trying to make himself some lean, and then he bashed a guy's head into the pavement until the guy shot him. Fuck off! You're retarded!
I don't think he's the showrunner or the writer, so he's just justifying a prop on set. It's like, yeah, we wear hoodies on set. There's a whole reason behind that.
Yeah.
He constantly loses clothes because he gets shot up. So he just grabs
hoodies are inexpensive, so it's not a big deal if he loses one.
I know, but again, it's like Luke Cage's brother, it was Diamondback, was also wearing a hoodie. Was he trying to go save people? No.
No.
He was trying to kill cops.
Yes.
Thanks, Diamondback. That's a great message.
Like fucking yelling, I'm Luke Cage! I'm Luke Cage!
Yeah.
Because he murders people.
Yeah.
Sounds nothing like Luke Cage, but everybody believed him.
Sounds nothing like Luke Cage. Ain't as tall, ain't as muscular, his entire facial structure is different.
And he's doing it in broad daylight, so you can see his face.
And of course, what everyone does after they murder a police officer is yell their name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, I'm Luke Cage. I live at 123 North Street. My social security number is 537160842.
I'm a Democrat.
Yeah, I voted Democrat in the last 3 elections.
Here's
I'm out of the house between the hours of 10 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Here is Logical's Mielke. But why do they believe in an ideology like that? There's lots of reasons. That's how they're raised. That's how they're taught.
Because they benefit
the
from
simplest
it.
one
It's
is
because
being raised like that can end up in rebelling against it, just like rebelling against conservative parents works, which so frustrates a lot of these very leftist parents when their kids turn conservative out of rebellion. The quantitatively biggest thing I've noticed personally is people don't know shit about anything, and they want to be good people. And this ideology, similar to many others, is telling them, oh, we can tell you how to be a good person, and we know who the bad guys are. So if you oppose them, you are automatically a good person. We have mapped out the world in a very simple, good people versus bad people fashion. So if you join us, you are a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. And after that, after they joined that thing, they gobble everything up, because it is then very difficult to question your choice of having joined that thing. So most people just double down, because they cannot admit to themselves that they made a mistake. They should probably get out of that. That requires some maturity that a lot of people do not have.
Yes. Fight the
Not
power
anymore
by
these days, yeah.
fight the power by turning all of your thinking faculties over to the power.
Yeah, because
From my point of view, the
thinking is
Jedi are
hard.
evil.
Okay, Coomer.
And
Obi-Wan said Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Thomas Sowell put this very well. I think he put it best. The quote was something like, "The problem is not that Timmy can't read. The problem is not that Timmy can't think. The problem is that Timmy doesn't even know what thinking is. He mistakes his emotions for thought."
Yeah.
Here is okay. This is something a bit different. Matt the Beast, thanks for the donation. I know I'm really behind, but you fail at hiring a prostitute by being Russell Greer and take them from the Bunny Ranch to the nearest Olive Garden and get back just in time for your bought hours to run out, then throw a fit and try to sue the brothel.
Oh, why are you
What?
taking prostitutes out to dinner? That's not what prostitutes
Oh,
are
you wanted
for.
an escort. That's what you do with an
Classy.
escort.
Classy prostitute experience.
I
What?
can do that.
Why not just like we'll say get an escort,
Yeah,
get a
this guy
girlfriend
wants to date.
experience.
Prostitutes are not for dates.
Yes,
I just want an escort to tell me how proud they are of me.
What?
That I did a good job.
Yeah, well, he's a nice guy. He wants to treat the lady right.
Just tell me that.
No,
That's fine.
disrespecting women, subjugate those hoes.
Anyway, I'll let you go.
I want a
How
sandwich,
dumb
and
it's
you better
a
make
basic
it.
piece of clothing is given so much power and attention. I mean, hoodies are so commonplace in modern culture and are worn by such a diverse group of people that it can seem ridiculous that they're being focused on this much. However, in an absolutely brilliant
honestly,
video...
Oh
review
no,
of
not
local-
this guy.
This guy,
Remember him?
Who is this
He
guy?
was he was in the Ender's Game video.
oh God, the head bobber.
Oh, it's political if you buy a ticket. Supporting pedophilia.
Oh God. Okay, the head bobber. Let's go.
What was the host Mike Rugnetta details the origins of the hoodie from utilitarian labor garb to help keep workers warm in icy New York to a symbol of the boxing scene as made popular by the Rocky movies to a staple of hip-hop culture, as during its rise it was dominated by working-class underdogs who were using the hoodie to help symbolize that. Rugnetta goes on to explain that a hoodie is defined by those that wear them. The clothing has a long
Wow, thanks for the great insight there, Rugnetta. That's brilliant.
history.
Hey, a
and
lot of
culture
people have been
otherness,
using this.
racial, economic,
Okay, bye.
etc. He proposes that a billionaire like Mark Zuckerberg wears a hooded sweatshirt, whereas Trayvon Martin.
Because who the fuck? What the hell?
Wait,
You can get a hoodie for $20.
He likes
on.
You can
clothing.
get a hoodie for $20. They're cheap and they work.
wait a
That's why
minute. I'm
people
not
buy
sure.
them.
I'm not understanding the logic. He's
There is no
arguing.
logic here.
Let's
Just
say
feel
words.
bad for my brown
Reference.
kid.
Make reference.
It's a woolly thing. It has a hood. It's a hoodie. End of
Wow.
story.
That's it. Fantastic, guys.
So he
Bravo.
So he said white people are bad, rich people are bad, right?
Yes. In his defense, Mark Zuckerberg is pretty fucking bad. But he's also not a person. He's an android.
Sure,
This is possibly true.
but he's going to jail, right? Or I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah.
wore a hoodie, the object becomes itself based on who is wearing it. Nobody would mistake Mark Zuckerberg for the clothes that he wears. Whereas
That's because
Trayvon
Mark
Martin, on the other
Zuckerberg
hand,
is
was the
Mark Zuckerberg.
Wait a minute,
You
wait a minute,
fucking idiot.
wait a minute.
We didn't find out about who Trayvon Martin was until after he died and his death was politicized.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg was one of the pioneers of social media. That man is a billionaire. He owns his own island.
Bro, I don't think anybody
He's in
would
so far
care once he
celebrity
starts
as that
beating the shit
everybody
out of
knows
them.
him. You cannot
it
equate
wouldn't-
someone that everybody on the planet knows with some random guy that nobody has ever heard of.
Yeah, and it wouldn't matter regardless because if Mark Zuckerberg was attacking that person, why wouldn't he defend himself?
Well, because it's against Facebook's terms of service.
Well, yeah, maybe now it is.
and I don't know I don't know why, because the scene is a bit different in how it plays out. But every time you play you describe the Trayvon Martin scene, I had this iconic scene from American History X in my head, probably because it's on the sidewalk and it's beating a guy to death. But that's what pops into my head when you describe what Trevor Martin did. Like the bad guy from American History X. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So the black guy reminds me of the neo-Nazi in that famous movie. Wow. Good job, black Americans. Good job.
Here's Mike Testa. Race is uninteresting. Culture is what's interesting.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mike.
Denzel Washington said something like that.
All right. Okay.
The release death because of its clothing choice. The Luke Cage Netflix show takes this a step further by elevating the hoodie as a larger symbol. Throughout the show, Luke Cage's hoodie becomes more and more tattered as it sustains gunshots. While the bullets bounce off of his skin and he's fine, it leaves a physical pattern of violence. Eventually, the holy hoodie becomes a symbol for the people of Harlem.
It's because they have a superhero patrolling the streets trying to take back the city from Cottonmouth and Diamondback. Two fucking crime lords.
That simple.
So not from the police, but actual criminals.
Well, fucking J. Jonah Jameson, when he got Spider-Man's costume, what did he do? He hung it up in his office like a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
He even wore it too. Which was awesome.
On the streets and make their own, wearing them in solidarity with their hero. After being wrongly accused of killing a cop, the sheer number of people wearing them leads to several false sightings of Cage, and the general attitude on the street is noticeably different since the hero of Harlem started taking justice into his own hands.
They made
As
it
Reed
into
Ramsey
fashion.
says in his article, Luke Cage flipping the script on racial politics, quote, "This symbol is significant because Cage became a weapon against unfair distributions of power. The people on the street no longer had to fear being shot by the police, because the police had to..."
Yeah, never mind
Wait a
Cottonmouth and the guy with the fucking discount Iron Man suit. And then later, the guy with the fucking magic fucking whiskey that gave him Luke Cage-style superpowers. It's the police that are the problem, right? God damn! These people are fucking retarded! Did you watch the show?
No, they didn't even shoot him, and they were trying to hide Luke Cage, weren't they?
Yes!
What was the deal? They were trying to give him
Like, of course the cops are gonna pull their guns on a guy. He has superpowers. They don't.
the bullet holes. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for Luke Cage. They're trying to distract him from Luke Cage. It's not about whatever the hell he just said.
Like, they're trying to distract the police because they know that Luke Cage is trying to solve their problems, and he can't do that behind bars. But they understand that the cops have to do it because the only thing they have to go on is some guy with super strength killing a cop and saying, "I'm Luke Cage," and walking off.
Right. Yep.
The cops have to bring him in. But the people there know that he can't solve a problem unless they participate and try and hide him from the cops.
It's the thing. It's the thing of, like, it's badly written, and it's not even what he's thinking it is. This guy, man, he's big
God
brain.
damn.
All right.
Fucking galaxy brain individual, but it's like Galaxy like in the first Men in Black movie where it can fit on a Chihuahua's dog collar.
A Bizarro World Galaxy?
Yes. Oh yes, it's a fucking bizarre world. Every planet is cube shaped.
Here's
boy.
a zero. Is he suggesting that hoodies have a pathos?
You have to assume, I guess.
That is taking it to extreme.
Apparently.
I don't think the symbol has some dramatic value to the story, but it is a symbol, so that's enough to understand what's going on.
Aren't they selling the shirts too?
Yeah, they are. His what is it? His brother or
So-
his friend is doing merchandise. It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Capitalism bad.
Capitalism
Except when
bad.
we do it.
Capitalism
we
bad
do it.
unless it's me buying fucking houses for myself with other people's money. Then capitalism good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's how it works.
Oh, that's how mafia works.
Now, you'd think that that would be enough, but even when Cage becomes a publicly well-known hero, both cops and criminals alike still shoot at him, despite knowing that he's bulletproof. Hell, the cops even arm themselves with special bullets just to take him down. And this nicely parallels how in our real world, we arm our cops like soldiers. As Method Man said in episode 12,
That's like, listen, if you're mad about the cops being armed like the military, then why did you vote for Joe Biden?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because he the one that did that.
There's a big difference between the SWAT team and the normal cops, and the reason for that. So unless you're not familiar with why they have the SWAT team,
Like, listen, of course you're gonna shoot at Luke Cage. Like, fuck, it might work. Like, you're fucking cornered. Like, so shoot a bullet. It might something might happen.
Okay. When Hulk was in Harlem, the cops still tried to shoot at him. Like, it makes
Yes.
no fucking difference.
all right. That's what a strange anecdote to reference. It's just like, oh yeah, I mean, cops are armored. It's like, in life
Again, and this is the Marvel universe. Why wouldn't the cops be armed like the military in the Marvel universe? This Luke Cage takes place a year or two after the Chitauri poured out of the fucking sky and started decimating the city that the show takes place in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel Universe is full of superhumans and worse things.
Like,
And it was
gods-
all nice. It was
gods
all
and
nice
magicians
until
and aliens
the
and-
Iron Man incident started, and after that, everything went crazy.
Well, no, it was still going crazy back in the days of World War II. That's when that shit started.
Yeah.
Here's-
Okay. Yeah.
Here's John Doe, the average Joe. Punisher wore a hoodie in his series. Is that political?
Yes. Yes, the hoodie's political unless you think about it.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, people shot at Punisher even though he has a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
Punisher's a symbol for black thing because hoodie and police bad, even though all the shows are revolving around him dealing with criminals, just like in Luke Cage. And donate to my Patreon, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
What is blade
Yeah, until my protest is over. Yeah.
His protest at Starbucks.
What is Spawn a symbol for?
Spawn. Okay, so you know Malbolgia, right? Malbolgia is white people, and the only and it's bad because the only way that a black man can get power in the world is to submit to the authority of white people.
Wow, based.
And then he uses that power to keep marginalized murderers and demons down. So, in conclusion to my TED Talk, Spawn is a coon.
Okay, cool. But you're definitely right about it. If you have a problem with the police being militarized, why do you listen to Black Lives Matter telling you the demonization of Trump and to make you vote for Joe Biden, who tells you that if you don't vote for him, you're not black, who then, once he's elected, turns your capital city into a fortress indistinguishable from a military dictatorship. And you think that's the lesser, that's not a fascist.
But Wisp, Biden isn't
what is
mean
wrong
on
with
Twitter.
you people?
Biden's not mean on Twitter, Wisp. You don't get it.
Yeah, Orange Man bad. Conform. Or else.
Yeah, Biden's not mean on Twitter because he can't even use I don't think he can use anything at this point. If you want to listen to Joe Biden being mean, watch his old Congress speeches.
Joe
and
Biden
what he calls future Supreme Court judges. who happen to be black, and he calls them a certain word.
No, but Clarence Thomas is a coon because he doesn't conform to what the white people taught us. I mean, wait,
and that's
what?
why you call him, and that's why Joe Biden called him the N-word?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, did he? I forgot.
Yeah.
Did he?
Joe Biden hates black people.
Yes.
Wow.
But no, Joe Biden isn't mean on Twitter. We'll ignore the fact that someone else is using his Twitter account.
He cares about the rights of others. Oh.
It's like poor kids.
For the record, Kamala Harris, who is not black, also hates black people.
Yep.
Yes.
Who keeps black people who were imprisoned for weed over their time in prison to use them for free labor. What do we call it when we imprison people, especially black people, for free labor? With an S, right? What do we call that?
Slavery? Is that what it is?
No, but
could it be that Kamala Harris is a slaver?
Yes.
Yes.
But Kamala Harris and every black person that voted for Joe Biden is fucking Steven from Django Unchained. Every single fucking one of them. And they don't even know it.
Well, this is outside my purview, so let's just keep going. Vladimir Dragunov. In California, the state of government was against cops having rifles in their cars. The North Hollywood shootout changed their tones. Really? Huh.
German cops since the I think it was since the Bush Jr. visitation. German cops have MP5s in their back, in their trunks.
Nice. They don't fool around there. Holy jeez.
Oh yeah.
Forget single. just pull that trigger. Woo. All right. Vladimir Dragunov again. In the Marvel universe, most countries would be arming their cops, and the pro-gun crowd would have a lot of strong arguments.
Yeah, like when the Dark Elves landed on whatever city that was.
London, I believe.
There's also the Civil War.
That explains why Christopher Eccleston was the lead elf. Which I didn't notice until I saw it in the credits.
That's funny. You still remember his name?
Yeah, because that made an impression on me because I actually liked that first Doctor Who of the reboot, or restart rather, continuation. I
couldn't get past the fucking fart aliens.
There was a lot of bullshit there, but that's Doctor Who for you. There's a lot of I call it high quality trash.
All right, let's go.
Always going to come second to being black. Luke Cage is not a show that we should have needed in 2016, and it shouldn't still be relevant 4 years later. There's a glorification of violence in police culture, as evidenced by how so many of them love to co-opt the Punisher's logo.
Wait. For glorifying violence, you show a Blue Lives Matter sticker because cops don't want to be shot by random people? Because cops want to be able to defend themselves against people who... Against every opportunity to de-escalate the situation, keep escalating to the point where if you're lucky, you get out alive as a cop. Because you have to give so many chances to that other person, and then it's a question of who pulls the gun first. This is the Wild West in horrible. So in the Wild West, you at least knew, okay, everybody has got a gun, so you better behave, because the bandits probably won't. And here now, one person has a gun, maybe both have a gun, but the guy who is up for law and order, the white hat, if you will, has to be so lenient. You would even complain if he got 3 bullets inside of him already and then would start shooting back.
Yeah. And they have. That's the sad part.
Oh, you shouldn't be shooting back while you already have been shot. I mean, the shooter is retreating now, right? And going away. Yeah, that's called a criminal on the run, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
All right. Here is Tyler Preston. For some reason, I believe that Comic Drake might be the inspiration for the protagonist in the game Cuckold Simulator. There's a game called Cuckold
Oh,
Simulator.
we're gonna be playing that on Sloppy Seconds at one of these
Oh
points.
God.
That's. I mean, there's a
I
market for
tell you,
everything.
I
I guess.
can't state these dating games anymore. From
That's a
that,
dating game.
weird guy.
Oh, it's Wiz was talking about Super Seducer.
Oh God, that's. Oh, that's. I don't know what that is.
That guy's so weird.
You were there for that with the right, Smud. You were there in the chat for the nightclub discussion.
I think I lasted
that one
about
chick?
5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh my God, what am I?"
We'll have to have you on the panel for Super Seducer
That
too.
was, that was terrifying. That was.
The writing of that thing is just
Fucking this guy keeps
how.
he keeps walking up to these chicks and pulling his dick out. Like what? Why? Stop.
Oh, that's
Stop.
stupid. Oh, that's that crazy guy with the drug line of dialogue.
Oh yeah. He fucking. I take hard drugs, and then the very next option is you smoke. Hey, that's unhealthy for you.
If there's a connection between you and the drug, what's wrong with it? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? This is not a pickup line, you retard. Who thought like?
And then he moonwalks out.
Oh, the moonwalk. Oh God. Anyway, keep going.
You need a
Punished
brain
Bearserker.
cleanser after bringing that up.
That is just. It was the strangest. I don't know why people make games like that.
There's two more of those games, Smud.
Oh my.
It's about the fantasy.
It's got to be like the same mentality of people who make B movies. They don't know what the freaking hell they're doing. They just want to make it.
Listen, Eric, I don't fantasize about being Hawk's soy vegan clone. That's not how my fantasies work, brother.
Anyway,
Do you think white
And the
people?
black movement as a whole shouldn't have to exist because black men
Black
shouldn't
people
have been killed,
shouldn't
especially by those
have to
people
exist.
that are
What?
supposed to-
What?
let me rewind
Oh, what
that.
the fuck?
Let's
Can
rewind.
you play that
Yeah.
again?
Let's try that again. That was. Let's just.
I've
Let's try that again.
lost the plot.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
Let's calm down. Let's try this again.
love Punisher's logo. Protests and the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole shouldn't have to exist because black men shouldn't have been killed, especially by those people that
Okay, so if you do something illegal and cops come after you and you resist arrest, chances are something's going to go down. The extent to which that occurs depends on what you did that was illegal and whether or not you're providing some resistance and how violent that resistance is. So
Yeah, it's this broad generalization that's not really, and that shouldn't really be used as an argument because you can extend that to like everything. I think
if the focus of Black Lives Matter is to get reparations or money or something because they think that's going to make their lives less violent, this is ridiculous.
You can never please them. The problem will never go away. You can throw all the money in the world at them and they will not be pleased.
What do
And
they
they will never
need?
be satisfied.
What-
And there will be millionaires and still saying that I'm oppressed because of my skin color.
If you want to march up and down the street about something, be my guest. You're not going to accomplish anything, though. You're not going to cure cancer that way. You're not going to solve the world's problems. You're not going to solve society's problems. You're not going to solve your family's problems.
no. All you're doing is wasting everyone's time
You're
and
getting
money.
You're getting a cathartic exercise by walking up and down or sitting or whatever you do to get it out of your system so you can get on with your life. If you want to solve a problem, you got to figure that problems aren't easy. Society is not easy. Individual existence and conflicts are not easy. It takes a lot of effort to solve.
The only thing that demonstrations do is draw attention. That's the only aspect of them that has any merit.
Black
That's
Lives
what they
Matter
exist for.
is-
But and it is only relevant. It's only really relevant when you are standing up against your government, and that means you go to the fucking government. You don't walk up and down Main Street and then go home. You go to the government and demonstrate there to hold the corrupt assholes to account who are responsible for whatever shit is going on.
This
Yeah,
That's
it's not
the only
not the
thing
KFC
that these
Yeah,
things
it's not the-
exist for.
It's not the
Everything
KFC's
else is
manager
just
for everything
crapping to
going bad.
yourself.
the concept of the phrase or the slogan Black Lives Matter is this bizarre blanket of ego where it's like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but because I'm a certain race and a certain guy of that race had something happen to him, I think it's important that you are aware.
Which is just silly. It's like you
I know,
can do
sounds
that
like
with every race if you wanted to.
I don't know. Sounds like the white Aryan resistance just for black people.
It's
There's also the Stop Asian Hate group.
you could say, yeah,
And BLM that was not happy about that.
some-
No. It's still a white guy fault.
yeah, some Polish driver ran into 4 people, then he got shot by police, and you can say Polish lives matter because this is a tragedy. He didn't know what he was doing. He was drunk. He was under the impression something happened. It wasn't his fault.
but look,
yada yada.
Slavs have been redefined as people of color, so they're black people now.
Oh,
so it's
really?
Black Lives Matter.
It's
Yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter when it's black on black.
it's
No, we don't care about them. We care only about the guys that got shot by the white.
This is nothing more than egoism wrapped in a blanket. And it just keeps getting repeated
Yeah.
over and over. It's not changing anything. You're not helping anyone. You're just
No, it's
making
making
a
everything
lot of
worse. You're
noise.
breeding more conflict than it should than resolving it. Really,
It's very similar to every other left-leaning, not ideology, but every thing they want to solve. The Earth,
Every fractional movement of theirs.
every and all just this bizarre message of whining. The Earth is in danger. We got to save it from what? From heat? From thermal energy?
From humans. From
it's
humans.
the meteor. It's an invisible
If we get
meteor
rid
that's
of
coming
all
out
the humans,
towards
the
us.
Earth will heal. We just need to get rid of all the humans.
Except for me and my friends.
Yes.
There's just so much
Um,
crap you listen
and-
to a week that you just go, come on, guys. What are you serious about? Are you?
I just want the Terminators to be created in
Shut the
this one cinema.
And
Does
this guy here, he says in his video, he says, Black Lives Matter shouldn't need to exist. I'm going further. I'm saying it shouldn't exist because it's a scam. It abducts disabled kids and tortures them. It scams people out of money. It destroys black businesses. It kills, it murders, it rapes other black people, including black kids, as we've seen in the chairs and the other things like it.
Oh yes.
It doesn't give a shit about black people. It is the opposite. It is like Antifa. It is the opposite of what the name says.
And it's breeding more problems. Now, everyone's going to start thinking about the race. Now, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, that's the whole intent. That's why these things are being pushed by the left. Because when racism stopped being a thing in the 90s, when that really took root, the whole MLK Jr. and the famous Morgan Freeman quote, when that took root and we started really just looking at the people and of their character, their actions, and judging them by that, that's when the left noticed, oh shit, if racism is solved and people stop being racist altogether when they're non-racist, we have a very big thing we can't talk about anymore and call and make people vote us for. And that's why they invented anti-racism, which is just racism in a different dress.
Yeah,
They had to do it. They had to do it to stay in political power. That's why they're gaslighting the masses, and it appeals to people, to the uninformed people who don't know any better and who've never fought before in their lives for themselves.
All right. Here's John.
I was giving you a conclusion, and then you don't need to think about it.
Here is John Doe, the average Joe. They will never let a black man wear a Captain America hoodie. This is Isaiah Bradley to Luke Cage. A deleted scene from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this is a joke.
I know, but yeah, it's just so retarded. It's
That
not
scene
true.
was so dumb.
The entire
Okay.
show was stupid.
Yeah, and it's counter. The show is counter the MCU reality. You've had War
yeah,
Machine.
it does because
You
Falcon
already had
never was-
Falcon. You had
Yeah,
what's
he
the
was-
other guy? Iron Patriot.
Black
is that a thing?
Panther.
Iron,
Iron Patriot.
Oh yeah, Iron Patriot.
Yeah,
All of these
and
things.
he was the government's right hand man, the president's right hand man. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
he was the face of the military. But no, Isaiah doesn't turn the TV on for that. He only turns the TV on for when Falcon gives some dumbass speech about, well, you need to do better. What does that
I
mean?
hate that.
I don't know.
I
Just
hate
know.
that line so much because that is the line. That is the line you find in a religious cult that accuses you of sin, and you need to absolve for your sin and do better.
And confirm.
That's why this all the socialist crap. It's a scam and it's a cult. It uses cult tactics, cult strategies, cult tricks, brainwashing. It makes you believe you are a sinner of some sort. It makes you comply to some unnamed god figure. In this case, it's the god of equity. The only god that makes everyone the same is the bloody Grim Reaper.
That's a good one.
I think
Too
that's
true.
Too
true.
I know it sounds like a joke, but I've thought about this
I know,
for years, and I think this is the. I think this. I think that's it. And if we look at history of what communism produces all the time, it's millions of dead bodies.
Yeah, and it's sad. It really is.
So I think they are. I think they are unknowingly worshipping the Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
All right.
It looks like it.
more and more too.
We got about a minute left, unless he has some weird outro with his patrons and thanks.
Hopefully.
Or a Skillshare. I don't know. It could be that too. Don't know.
What skills does he have? This man has no skill. What?
Talking?
How to talk about
Learn to be a flat brain.
problems.
How to drink the Kool-Aid. There's a good skill. Okay, let's keep going.
How to hate yourself because of your weight. Yeah.
Better support and protect. So how do we move forward? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a politician or anything like that.
What did I say?
However,
What did I say 2 seconds ago? What skill does this man have? He admits he has no skill. Also, why does he look like he's cooming right now?
Do you think? And on top of that, to be a politician, apparently you don't need skills either.
No.
You know, the term...
Look at the squad. Look at your local city hall politicians.
Yeah.
You don't need any skills to be a politician.
I've heard the term move forward whenever someone does something bad. It's like, well, in order to move forward, I need to atone for my
Just don't
mistakes.
think about it, bro.
Just you all atone for your sins, but please forget mine.
Yeah, totally.
I just want to move on. Dude, you
What
are
should
the
we
one.
do? I don't know.
You are the fucking abuser. Of course we're
Look,
going to
there's-
hold you accountable. Of course we're going to remind you of your shit because you did actual shit. But you, the fucking abuser, you only hold other people to a fake account because what your problem is people speaking up against you and calling you out and not letting you get away with your shit.
Speaking the
That's
truth.
that's
Oh, you don't like the truth, do you? Ooh.
All right, let's go. We're almost done. 1 minute. Woohoo.
Do better.
Do better. I don't know what the answer is, but let's do something together, guys. Okay.
Just do better.
If you're not an
I'd
expert
like
and
to
not a
realize
politician
that
or
there
anything,
is
why
a
are you
massive
talking?
problem. It's pretty painfully obvious that there is a huge issue of police brutality, especially towards black men.
No, there
It's
isn't.
However,
It's
Okay.
pretty damn obvious that you know nothing, have a completely one-sided, skewed account of reality, and haven't checked anything. You haven't dug into anything. You haven't done your homework. You are just repeating the exact same drivel that everyone on your political side does. Because you only consume the one TV station that you always consume, and you only listen to the bloody activists. You never check the footage. You never listen to what the press conference of the police is saying. You never listen to what the other side of politics has to say, which often is just as skewed as yours. But that is why you cannot ever find the truth, because that is somewhere between all of that, and you have to find all the puzzle pieces that actually fit together, not just the ones on your side that pretend to.
Yeah, you can't use duct tape to just put them all together.
What you are is a brainless, useful idiot.
I don't
You're
know why.
propagandizing because you know it's gonna give you a couple views and therefore a couple bucks, so you can
Couple
pay your
views.
bills. That's
Yeah,
all
that's
you're
why.
doing
That's
it
why he
for.
put Luke Cage on this.
Oddly
because
enough,
somehow that's relevant.
Oddly enough, though, this is a channel that has about almost 350,000 subs. This was done in June of 2020. It only has 26,000 tops views, which is
Wow,
not
that is
very good.
not even 10%.
No. So
He was hoping though.
I don't know what he was trying to do, but this is a really weak
Yeah.
take.
Yeah, and if you emotionally cared about the topic, you wouldn't be sitting there smiling all the time.
I'm like, okay, so he comes up with the message that police, killing black people, and it's like, okay, Luke Cage was not even remotely about that.
It's so vapid.
Why does he connect these two? I don't understand.
Just because in the show they have a hoodie, which makes a certain subplot. And Trayvon Martin has hoodies too. It's like, okay, yeah. Good for you.
Number 20 this entire fucking video.
Luke Cage wears hoodies. Okay, thanks.
So what does that make the Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
They wear hoodies.
Black people, obviously.
They're black.
Oh,
Black Italians. There you go.
Obviously. Going all the way back to the first century.
We
That
was
makes a lot of
assassins and shit.
Oh, it's so silly, I swear. This guy.
Quote pop from Luke Cage: "Never backwards, always forward, always."
What are you talking about?
You know what?
Forward to
You know what?
where?
But you know what Luke Cage said? Sometimes backwards to move forward.
Mhm.
So did he even watch the show?
But yeah, he said that right as he was going back to prison because he broke out of prison.
Yeah.
Like he realized he had to serve his time for escaping prison, even though he was wrongfully convicted.
This guy's such an idiot.
No, if you only go forward, if you only ever go forward, that means you are a renegade who never reflects on himself and what actions of his are wrong and cause damage. You cannot even course correct that way.
Yeah, but what is he referring to
Yeah.
as progress?
Take a step back means to take a step back.
The
means
thing with
to,
Pops was that he was a criminal too. He went to jail, he paid the price, he served his time, and he got out and did better. He tried to help young folks into his barber shop so they wouldn't be out in the streets where everything's crazy.
Yeah, and if you
Pops was doing better.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and if you put your foot into a quicksand trap or something, you might want to take that step back and maybe reevaluate your direction.
Mm-hmm.
Either that,
Totally.
And not just move forward. Yeah, please go, then we don't need to bother with you anymore.
unless he's just trying to state
Oh,
platitudes
my
for the
God.
sake of sounding glib. I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? Where did this come from? What are we moving forward toward? What progress? What is the thing we have to fix?
To paradise, Smud.
Do
Can't
better.
you see it?
Do better, Smud.
Do better at what?
Yeah.
I want to know what he's
They
talking
never
about.
Do better.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. Just do better.
Be
okay?
more
Just-
noble. Be nicer. Like,
Be hard.
Be something.
Just be
Tell me what.
more.
Better at what?
I'm a Mexican wearing Norbert clothes.
You
What
have to
don't I
go-
know?
But Smut, this is a religion. In a religion, you already know what the divine better is.
I do.
So when he tells you to be better, that you must know it. In your heart, you
Yeah,
must
okay.
already know what the right thing is.
The right thing is to have
what
ice
do you-
cream.
What do you
That's-
feel? You gotta feel what I feel.
You must be like me because I am perfect.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I don't either. He's making lies that didn't even happen in the show, and he's trying to connect it to reality.
Drakey, yes,
I find
Papa.
this- yeah,
Telling
I-
lies, no Papa.
All right, let's see if he devolves into more platitudes or he stops right now. Let's find out.
I don't actually think video is going to help in any real way, shape, or form, but
No, it
I
isn't.
wanted to do
it's
something
not.
other than just, ooh, look, crazy random comic book stuff. Because when I'm out there protesting, like, it's
Seriously?
cool that I can
You?
be there and yell, Black Lives
Like, he goes to Starbucks. He stands in the vicinity of a black person. He calls the cops bad, and then he goes back home. That's his protest.
He doesn't even. They don't even let him. The black guys are just like looking at him funny, like, "What are you looking at, white boy? Huh?"
Is that where you go to like Starbucks? He doesn't order a coffee because it's too spicy for him. It's like a Jones cream soda or something. He feels more at home and just sits on.
Fucking coffee's too spicy. He has to drink an egg cream.
Every time I go, whenever I used to go, I used to be like, why are there cream sodas at a freaking coffee shop? What's going on here? How does that
What
work?
is a cream soda? That sounds wrong.
And it's multicolored. It's not like pink. It's like white and brown and blue.
Yeah, I tried to have
Right.
cream soda with my ice cream.
Okay,
Didn't work out.
Wisp. Next time
I don't know.
next time you get some heavy cream or double cream or whatever the
Do you
fuck they
mean-
call it over in Europe,
Do you
get
mean
some.
a carbonized milkshake?
No. Just take that heavy cream. Right? Just take that heavy cream, thin it out, put some sugar in it, and then let it sit outside in the heat for a good 2-3 days, and then drink that, and that's what cream soda tastes like.
That
but
sounds
bubbly.
disgusting.
It is. Cream soda is terrible.
That sounds
Yeah,
it
I
got
couldn't do it
it
anymore.
got bad, but failed to turn into cheese.
Yes. No worst company. Cream soda is not great. Stop it. Cream soda is terrible. Get better taste in soda.
Anyway, welcome to America. There's a taste and flavor for everyone under the sun. So
As much as I know from American sweets, that is not true. American sweets, including chocolate, is mainly sugar without flavor.
corn syrup. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just everything is sugar, and
I'm
gonna
stand up in the
That's just
defense.
drugs.
I'm gonna stand up in the defense of Black Forest gummy worms. Those things are delicious
Why is it called Black Forest?
because that's the company name.
Oh, okay.
It's a
So is
A
it rooted
political
in
reason.
southern Germany?
Maybe.
What?
I'm not sure. I don't.
That's where the Black Forest is.
Okay. Thank
Wes,
you.
I don't
Wes.
fucking. I don't fucking look up the entire fucking history of my gummy worms. I just open the package and eat the gummy worms.
I'm just
Well, maybe
telling you
you
that
should.
sounds like it's.
I don't
I'm
need
just
a
telling you that
fucking
sounds like it has
history lesson. I
German
just
roots,
want
and maybe
some
that's
gummy
why
worms.
it's
You
good gummy
have
worms.
to.
Okay. Okay.
obviously.
Relax. Just a gummy
Give
worm.
me some gummy worm pride.
Maybe, but this is
You
not.
all want some jelly beans?
This is not the confectionery.
No.
Let's talk about a sugar show. It's it's the Luke Cage.
But the sugar is more entertaining than this guy.
Like, literally
I
a bag
said
of
literally
sugar.
nothing.
A
This
bag
white
of sugar. I could have watched a bag of sugar for the past 3.5 hours and it would have been more informative and entertaining than comic horror here.
Yes.
Anyway, we're almost done. Let's get over it. Here we go.
god.
and slogans, but I'm very fortunate to have this platform and I want to do something with it. And that's why I'm going to take profits from
thank
this video
God.
and I'm going to be
So
putting that
brave.
towards bail funds for protesters that are wrongfully arrested.
Oh wow, all $3.
Oh, yeah, the bail funds for actual criminals.
Damn.
That's a stretch, man. For
It's a good
arsonists.
thing I got. It's a good thing I got fucking ad block, isn't it, Drake whore?
Well, since you brought up slogans, so this is as a little side thing.
Okay.
The word slogan
So
is Gaelic for battle cry of the dead.
if anyone is advocating to go join a march or this or that, just say why. Why are you doing it? What is it going to accomplish? Nothing. It's all cathartic. It's all ego driven. If you want to solve a problem,
Look, when
try and figure it out. It's
I wouldn't
hard.
call it cathartic.
have
It's
any of you ever seen the?
self-aggrandizing.
It's ego.
Have
It's pure ego.
you ever seen Deadpool protesting?
Deadpool?
Catharsis, catharsis
those
is
are the
something
best.
else.
Like kneel
Catharsis
before
is
Zod.
Neil before sun.
Catharsis is a feeling of relief, but what these protesters have is ecstasy.
Well, if they're lucky. That'd be a pretty cool protest, but
If they're lucky.
yeah, this is a pretty. I mean,
Well, it's getting drugged on yourself. Catharsis is not getting drugged on yourself. Catharsis is a weight getting off of you.
well, if you stand around screaming your lungs out, you're gonna feel some release of some kind. So something's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna feel some release in your ball sack when the cops hit you with a pepper spray can.
Whatever the
I don't
case,
think
whatever
so.
the emotion
vibe,
is.
I was at many of these types of demonstrations when I was younger, and I'd rather compare it to these evangelical mega churches. It's not that extreme, the thing they get out of it, but it's in that direction where they pray and dance themselves into ecstasy. And some people to orgasm. It's really, really, really weird.
How could one learn this power?
Well, join a mega church and get your personal possession by the Holy Ghost.
Drugs.
Which totally looks exactly the same as when they claim that this person is possessed by demons, and their possessions by the Holy Ghost look exactly the same, and they speak in tongues exactly the same. They just call it, oh no, this is a divine one. This is not a demon. This is a divine one. Fuck you. It's just getting people high on their body's own chemicals. That's just, you mentally stimulate them. You get them into this group situation, and that releases chemicals in your body, and that makes you feel good, and you can drive that up into ecstasy, into a high, and even into some people into orgasm. We have one congregation, one of the Christian congregations here in town. I think there are two weird ones here, and one of these weird ones. A friend of mine in the US who is a devout Christian told me it sounds like Pentecostals, which I'm not familiar with. What they essentially do is in the Holy Trinity, they only focus exclusively on the Holy Ghost, and that's what they channel in their prayers. And otherwise, what they do is they focus on Jesus directly. And I've seen these. I've seen the what do you call it? The sermons of these people. Especially there's a young guy here. Every time he holds a sermon, it looks obscene. It looks like he is jerking himself off to Jesus. He's touching himself in lewd ways, not at his genitals, but everywhere else. It looks like he's jerking off to Jesus. That's why I call this type of sermon and praying Jesus fapping. These people pray themselves into ecstasy. There's nothing divine about that.
Germany's a magical place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We
And
got
at least the other congregations here in town think, yeah, they're a bit weird.
okay.
Yeah, the only problem with trying to jerk Jesus off is that his refractory period is 3 days.
Oh, by the way, the whole Boy Scout thing is not a thing in Germany. But this congregation does have a Boy Scout thing, and there are also people who you know where this is going, right? And they also have this position of, oh, when people do bad things, they will be either forgiven or see the problems in hell. So we don't need to be public about anything. Just forgive everyone. And when you have this in combination, that is the perfect soil, perfect breeding ground for abuse, including child abuse.
Yeah.
So I don't know of a case here, but I know the pattern of the environment that makes up the environment where this happens, and this looks a lot like that. So whenever something comes up in a legal case, I will not be surprised.
All right, we got 20 seconds. Let's do it.
And test some more. I'm going to be using the money to, help buy water bottles, snacks, all the things that make a protest actually happen. I don't have an actual good way to end this.
What makes a protest happen?
Please
Bottled water and snacks. You're fucking
have
retarded,
compassion
bro.
for your fellow man. even
God
if they
damn.
Don't look like
Fuck you. Fuck
How
you.
about you
Even
stop
if they
down
don't
burning
look
your
like
own
me.
country?
No. Absolutely not.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I think everyone's got that. That's like common sense, but you don't want to make it common sense.
Oh boy.
Yeah. How about you don't burn down your own country out of despising it? Because all you
Not
do
even-
that way is you're not making anything better, and instead you only weaken your own country to the point where a worse country will take you over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
China, yep.
Yeah. What are you gonna do
Although,
then, huh?
although China's a paper tiger itself, so.
Oh no, it isn't. It isn't as long as everybody complies to China. China is a paper tiger when people just stop buying Chinese products. When companies pull out of China. Then it's a paper tiger that collapses. If it doesn't, China will keep up buying every business out in the West. And will keep buying land in Africa and colonize it, actually colonize it. The actual Africa, not some other place where they import black people to. No, the actual fucking Africa. Do black people in America care about that? No, they don't.
No.
They have an Africa fetish, but they know nothing about it, and they don't know nor care what China is doing to their fellow ancestral cousins.
But they know everything they need to know. They're slaves, all right?
But
That's what the
They are.
movies tell them.
I will go so far as to say that the black urbanites who march with Black Lives Matter and burn down their own country and the businesses of their fellow black men and women, they are slaves. Still, they're slaves in mind, and they're slaves to the Democratic Party that keeps them in these mental chains and keeps them dependent on the government by telling them big government is good for you because it cares for you, because it gives you money. Keep on voting for us, keep us in power, and we will keep you dumb and dependent and poor. That is exactly what is happening. The Democratic Party is the current slave master of black people in America.
All right, let's do some stream
That
memes.
doesn't mean that you have to go to the Republican Party. Just do your own fucking thing.
All right,
Memes, yes.
stream memes time. So this is by Mateus. Thank you, Mateus. Fantastic little acronym thing you're doing there. Fan stuff. That's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Nice JPEG black background. Very good. When Wisp doesn't get a tired reference, that's great. See, now I want some chicken.
reference?
Now I want some actual Popeyes or something. I feel like we should get some chicken. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the summer weather for me. Who knows?
God, I would love some chicken right now.
Yeah, fried chicken would be great. Black Lives Matter. Don't ask questions. Just get outraged and then get excited for next outrage. That's great. I love it.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, pretty much.
A little icon.
I love that it's Jay saying it.
Yeah.
Be in solidarity with the thing that you know nothing about, because
There's Antifa. There's the blue check mark, and then there's the communist star. That's funny. I never saw that before. Cool.
are we in stream?
Yeah, stream
Or
memes.
it's
New
I'm
overnight
tired. It's-
bloody, but mostly peaceful protest at Helm's Deep. That's good.
And then, of course, is the real thing right under it.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that's not satire. That's real. That happened.
Here's a
Yep.
here's a city on fire. Everything's peaceful. We're happy. We're good. Having a good time.
Mostly. It's like when when Elon Musk's next rocket blows up, he says, mostly successful landing.
Yeah. Look at this one.
That's just mean.
Starts talking about Jeremy.
That's just, I mean, impassioned, but still mean. Come on, guys.
No, not really.
Whoa, what is going on here? This is brilliant,
When did that?
but I
Why?
like this.
That's the AT&T girl and Sam from
Jesus.
Samsung now.
Oh, that's the Samsung girl. Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Samsung anime girl, thick as fuck.
I think she's one-upping the anime girl, yeah. Anyway, good stuff. Patriarchy. What patriarchy? I can't. What are you talking about? What words are? What are words?
I can't see the patriarchy. All I can see is your tits.
Okay, let's stop looking at that. Oh my God, guys!
Why?
Jesus.
What?
Wisp describing the height of the Berlin Wall decolorized.
I'm sorry, I can't laugh about this.
Yeah, it'll cause you some problems at home. I understand.
No, not
God
just
damn,
that.
Bears.
I failed to see the joke.
Okay.
Yo, it's just you describing it as about that high, you know.
Oh my God, what's going on? Is that the same
Yeah,
girl?
yeah,
That's the same bitch. That's the AT&T
Yeah.
bitch.
Oh jeez.
yeah. That feeling when you don't want male attention.
Okay, lady, you just lost my respect, but yeah, okay.
You don't need.
she's
respect to
she's
come-
even gone topless. I think.
Pro tip, Smud. You don't need respect to come in some bitch.
Yeah, okay. Well, boys, we did it. Racism is no more. Bravo, boys.
Oh, I could just imagine the clapping. Or that's brilliant. Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I love Skipper.
Oh yeah.
Black people shouldn't have to exist. Drave McQuarrie. I don't think he didn't actually say that. He said Black Lives Matter shouldn't have to exist. I
it's
agree.
the same thing.
I like the decolorized bit.
Yeah, they gotta make it feel old.
Oh, did you skip the
Oh,
the dancing
boy.
with me and Clinton?
Oh boy, this is fantastic. The grifter. Jeez. And this is just, what is happening here? It's very one-sided operation there.
Hey
Yes,
Peter, I was watching a lot of that internet porn that you said.
It's Drake
Good
it's
stuff.
Drake McCoomer.
It's good stuff.
All right. I can't play videos because that's going to take too long, so. And I'm
Oh
not
no, this one's only a minute and 47 seconds, but it's what Wisp was describing.
I know, but I don't want to mix things up too much.
I want you to come. That's funny.
Anyway, you guys can check that out on the Discord if you want. There were some videos there I didn't play because they'll take a while, and I don't want to get demonetized, and all this copyright claim crap, which I have to go through anyway. So, that wasn't so bad. We went under 3 hours. Not bad, guys. For a 7-minute video, we stretched it out. Good job. Fantastic. Oh, take a nap. Get some nice iced tea, maybe some ice cream, whatever you guys feel like right now. It's a good time to get a drink. Relax. Remind yourself how good life is, despite not going to a protest this week and not having to buy water and snacks for everyone, all your friends. So
That's this PSA meeting, right?
Yeah.
How to host a protest? Get some water.
First, step 1, go to Popeye. Step 2, get some watermelon. Okay, we're protesting today.
Anyway, that was a
boy.
nice semi-political, media-related video. I didn't want to do too much politics and sex, but politics are better. So thank you for the recommendation. Always nice. Keep the voting coming. Always a nice, refreshing thing to have a new month to start looking at new videos. And you guys are all the ones that want them on, so we cover them. It's all your fault. We just sit through them with you. So thank you, I guess. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great evening, guys. Talk to you soon. And